This page is the vibrant front cover of the June 1994 issue of Beep! Powerful Mega Magazine Mega Drive. The cover prominently features Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, and Tails the Fox, celebrating the release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is highlighted as a special bonus. The main theme is, Welcome to the Next Level for Sega in '94, focusing on Sega's strategy for the latter half of the year. The cover teases a wide array of games covered inside for both the Mega Drive and Mega CD. Noteworthy titles mentioned include Shining Force CD, Star Wars, Rebel Assault, Fatal Fury 2, Dynamite Headdy, RoboCop vs. the Terminator, and Mortal Kombat. It also lists Japanese-specific releases, like Urusei Yatsura, Record of Lodoss War, Kamen Rider Zo, Soleil/Crusader of Senti, and Panorama Cotton. The cover design is dynamic, using bright colors and diagonal elements to create energy, befitting a magazine focused on Sega's fast-paced image. This page features the Sega CD title, Record of Lodoss War. The striking illustration shows the heroes Parn and Deedlit ready for battle. The page highlights the game as one of two great works of absolute emotion, promising a deep and moving experience. It features a tactical action system and a multi-scenario system that allows for different emotional outcomes, fully utilizing the capabilities of the Mega CD. Screenshots offer a glimpse of the tactical gameplay and character portraits. The game is scheduled for release on May 20, 1994. This page introduces the exciting action RPG Shin Soseki Ragnasenti, known internationally as Crusader of Senti, appearing exclusively on the Mega Drive. The striking artwork features the young hero alongside his various animal companions, ready to embark on an adventure across time to seek lost words. The game promises a deep experience with its unique Trinity system, where the protagonist's abilities change based on which animal ally is accompanying him. Screenshots show off the top-down gameplay in different environments. Developed by Nextech, this action-packed RPG is scheduled for release on June 17, 1994. The page also highlights other Mega Drive family hardware available at the time, including the compact Mega Drive 2, the Mega CD 2 attachment, and the all-in-one Victor Wonder Mega RGM2. This page is all about the high-octane racing action of Outrunners, arriving on the Mega Drive. The headline screams, "Exciting fun!" and "Furious Race!", perfectly capturing the spirit of this arcade classic making its way home. The artwork features sleek cars tearing up diverse landscapes, a hallmark of the series. Outrunners brings the thrill of global racing, with modes including arcade-style challenges, a versus computer mode, and the epic World Tour race. Screenshots showcase the impressive split-screen gameplay across various environments, from pyramids to cherry blossom trails, highlighting the graphical fidelity achieved on the Mega Drive. Developed exclusively for the console, this port aimed to bring the competitive two-player arcade experience to your living room. The page also features the Mega Drive 2, the Mega CD 2 attachment, and the Victor Wonder Mega RGM2, reminding gamers of the available Sega hardware ecosystem. This page features a triple threat of titles coming to Sega platforms. Up top, we have Wimbledon Championship Tennis for the Mega Drive, promising the prestige and tradition of the famous tournament. It shows the iconic courts and a glimpse of the gameplay, allowing players to compete for top honors. Below that is Greatest Heavyweights, bringing the legendary boxers of history to the Mega Drive ring. Featuring portraits of iconic fighters like Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and others, this game focuses on hard-hitting knockout action, depicted in a gameplay screenshot. Finally, showcased for the Mega CD is Kamen Rider Zo, a game based on the popular hero. The page highlights the transforming hero and mentions a multi-story progression influenced by player actions, likely enhanced by the cinematic capabilities of the Mega CD. Screenshots show Kamen Rider Zo in action and his alternate form. This page features an emergency advertisement for the Mega Drive and Mega CD title, Urusei Yatsura Dear My Friends. This adventure game plunges players into the chaotic world of Urusei Yatsura, specifically set in Tomobiki Town. The page highlights the game's premise, beginning with Lum meeting a mysterious character named Sakchan and getting drawn into a game of hide-and-seek. It explains the gameplay uses two screen types: an adventure screen where players interact using icons to look around and move, and animated scenes for key moments. The story is stated to be entirely original. A section details item usage, explaining that using items can trigger unusual events or even transform the items themselves. Examples shown include chocolate, Daikon Radish and Ramoon, illustrating that using a CD on a boombox results in music playback. The comic panel section appears to depict a scene from the game, showing Ataru and Lum reacting to events, hinting at the game's comedic and surprising nature. This page delves deeper into the bizarre occurrences in Tomobiki Town within the game Urusei Yatsura. Dear My Friends. The top section features a comic strip showing characters reacting to a floating town, with speculation centering on the mysterious Sakchan. The main focus is on the widespread strange events plaguing the town's inhabitants and locations. We learn about specific anomalies. Ryunosuke's account of Tomobiki High School transforming into an amusement park, the Mendo estate being devastated by a monster, Ran's house becoming a haunted house after she refused a game, Shinobu's house turning into a giant cake when she declined a sweet offer, and Sakura's house being hit by a strange light leading to a personality change. Each section includes a character portrait and an illustration of the bizarre transformation. The page highlights how the familiar locations and residents of Tomobiki Town are being affected by the chaotic events central to the game's storyline, hinting at Sakchan's potential involvement as the source of these disruptions. This page is an advertisement for Yoyogi Animation Academy, inviting readers to embark on a great adventure into the world of game creation and animation. The visual features a woman dressed in fantasy armor with a sword, battling or facing monstrous creatures, reinforcing the theme of adventure often found in games. The school is promoting its April 1995 intake and offers various departments covering computer, animation, and game creation disciplines, aiming for 100% employment or debut for its graduates. Information is provided about tuition, scholarships, and free trial days at multiple campuses across Japan. It's a call to action for those interested in a career in the creative industries that feed into the games we love. The next page is a striking advertisement for the Sailor Moon fighting action game released on the Mega Drive. As an expert gamer, I can tell you this was a highly anticipated title for fans of the series wanting to see their favorite characters duke it out. The game features the 5 core Sailor soldiers: Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, Sailor Mars, Sailor Jupiter, and Sailor Venus, all selectable to fight. The ad promises dynamic actions, impressive special moves. Each character has 3 unique ones, and even includes the iconic transformation sequences from the anime. A huge draw is the inclusion of battle voice acting by the original voice cast from the TV show, which really adds to the immersion. Difficulty levels are adjustable, making it welcoming for newcomers while still offering a challenge for experienced players. The visuals are described as gorgeous, and the ad hints that even the enemy characters have received a significant power-up. It was priced at 8,800 yen and targeted for a late June release, promising intense battles and a faithful adaptation of the beloved series into a fighting game format. This page features a series of reference books from SoftBank's publishing division titled RPG Fantasy Encyclopedia Series. It highlights 2 new releases: Age of Warriors, which delves into historical warriors like Crusaders, Mongol cavalry, and samurai relevant to RPG settings, and the Reverse Lookup Monster Guide Western Edition, offering a comprehensive guide to monsters from Western RPGs. The page also showcases previously published volumes covering Shambara Hero Tales, focused on Japanese swordsmanship, a General Japan edition drawing from Japanese mythology, and an initial volume covering the origins of RPG fantasy in myth and medieval tales. These books are presented as essential resources for RPG fans looking to deepen their understanding of fantasy worlds, creatures, and lore. All books are priced around 1,550 yen to 1,860 yen, including tax, and are available at bookstores. This page prominently features the fighting game phenomenon, Mortal Kombat, highlighting its upcoming release on Sega's Mega Drive and Mega CD platforms. The iconic dragon logo dominates the center, alongside screenshots showcasing the game's digitized characters and arenas. The Mega Drive version is priced at 8,800 yen, tax not included, and the Mega CD version at 6,800 yen, tax not included, both scheduled for a late May release. Promotional text emphasizes knowing victory and predicting perfect wins. Beyond Mortal Kombat, the page also covers other releases. Alien 3 is announced for the Game Gear at 4,500 yen, tax not included, with a Super Famicom version reappearing at 8,800 yen, tax not included, both expected in late May. Screenshots show the side-scrolling action of Alien 3. Additionally, Acclaim introduces the Dual Turbo, a wireless controller for 6,800 yen, tax not included. Also set for a late May release, promising dual play from day one. A Super Famicom version of the Dual Turbo is already on sale. Rounding out the page are details on Mortal Kombat ports already available. The Super Famicom version is 9,800 yen, tax not included. Game Boy is 4,200 yen, tax included. And Game Gear is 4,800 yen, tax not included. All currently on sale. This page focuses on a long-awaited official fan book for the popular Super Real Mahjong PIV series. This is the first official book of its kind, and comes packed with original artwork and setting materials for the game, along with a bonus 3 poster featuring newly drawn art. The game series, known for its smooth anime graphics and appealing female characters, is covered in detail, showcasing the charm that has made it a fan favorite since Step 2. The book features the work of Ryo Tanaka, who handled the character design and original illustrations across the entire series. Characters like Kaori, Yu, and Mana are prominently displayed. Priced at 2,000 yen, this collection covers the arcade and Super Famicom versions and is available now. This page is a large advertisement recruiting students for the 95 academic year at the Amusement Media General Academy, highlighting courses like game creation, CG animation, and voice acting, and promoting a new voice actor audition. This page is a promotional piece for the Sega CD fighting game, Battle Fantasy. It's framed around the idea of teaching the true meaning of fighting. The game is a fantasy-themed fighting action title featuring a roster of 10 distinct warriors. Players select one character and must defeat X-Dark by utilizing various techniques, winning numerous battles, and emphasizing growth and survival throughout the journey. The page highlights that the game supports versus play, adding replayability. Screenshots show the diverse characters and fantasy environments where the battles take place, including what appears to be an RPG-like interaction screen alongside standard fighting game views. Published by Micronet and released in 1994 for the Mega CD, it was priced at 8,400 yen, excluding tax, and was already on sale with positive reception at the time of this publication. This page introduces the June 1994 issue of BeepMD, highlighting Sonic the Hedgehog 3 as a special feature. The magazine offers a new release scramble, catching up on games like Pulseman and Dynamite Heady. The B-Mega Hot Menu section delivers a diverse selection of previews, including Crusader of Senti, RoboCop vs. Terminator, FIFA International Soccer, and Cotton. A special feature titled 94 Sega Welcome to the Next Level delves into Sega's upcoming strategy, while a special report covers major titles such as Super Street Fighter II and Langrisser 2. The Mega CD Press provides early details on Sega CD releases, like Lunar 2, Eternal Blue and Shining Force CD. The page features screenshots of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 gameplay, and what appears to be a classic RPG title, likely Dragon Slayer or Langrisser. This page serves as a comprehensive table of contents, giving readers a taste of the extensive coverage inside, from new game previews to in-depth reports and console-specific updates. Sega's March 1 stone to 31 stone sales data for Genesis, Sega CD, and Game Gear shows Virtua Racing topping the charts, followed by Streets of Rage 3 and Phantasy Star IV. New releases like the Sega Game Packs and Castlevania Bloodlines also perform well. Arcade-wise, Sega's Virtua Fighter is number 1, with Daytona USA a strong contender. Other notable arcade hits include Super Street Fighter II Turbo and Ridge Racer. The report showcases the popularity of both new and classic games across Sega's platforms, highlighting the ongoing success of arcade and console gaming. This page dives into user feedback, starting with the Transplant Wish Game Top 20, a poll revealing which arcade and PC games MegaDrive/Genesis fans are desperate to see ported. High on the list are heavy hitters like Samurai Showdown, Virtua Fighter, Final Fantasy, and the Dragon Quest series, showing the diverse tastes of the user base. Exciting news is highlighted with the confirmed MegaDrive port of Super Street Fighter II, praised for its massive 40 megabit size, promising a faithful arcade experience. Another confirmed port is Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes. Below this, the long-awaited new game Top 5 showcases the most anticipated upcoming MegaDrive and Sega CD titles. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 takes the top spot, noted here just after its release as a fast-paced, high-quality platformer offered at a good price. Lunar, Eternal Blue for Sega CD ranks highly, lauded for its attractive characters and enhanced battle system. Fatal Fury 2 also makes the list, confirmed for release. A section on upcoming Mega Drive hits teases titles like Langrisser 2, Outrunners, and Shining Force 2. Finally, a check! The spotlight features beautiful Soldier Sailor Moon and the upcoming Pulseman, highlighting its blistering speed and action from Game Freak. This page showcases user reviews and ratings for 2 recent Mega Drive/Genesis releases in the BeepMD Race section. The unique rating system uses dog figures based on the average score from 4 reviewers. First up is Outrunners, a port of the popular arcade racing game. Released May 13th, it features multiple cars and tracks from around the world, along with selectable background music. Reviewers generally praised the catchy music and sense of speed, but felt the split-screen versus mode detracted from the experience, and the overall excitement didn't quite match the arcade version, resulting in a mixed average rating of 5.75. Next is Wimbledon, likely referring to the official tennis title. Released May 20th. This game features singles and doubles matches on the famous court, with 24 playable characters, and support for the Sega Tap accessory. The reviewers appreciated the realistic character and court proportions, and the inclusion of semi-auto features, making it enjoyable as a tennis game. However, they felt the presentation could have been more vibrant given the official license, and noted a lack of character individuality, leading to an average rating of 6.0. The page also includes comments from various users, reflecting on different aspects of gaming, such as anticipating future releases, like Virtua Fighter on Saturn, and discussing personal gaming experiences. Community reviews for Mega Drive/Genesis games continue. RoboCop vs. Terminator received a 6.75 rating, praised for enjoyable action despite simple gameplay, realistic effects, and unlimited ammo. Greatest Heavyweights of Boxing, a boxing sim featuring iconic fighters, scored 5.75, praised for historical figures and replay value but criticized for its slow gameplay. Sonic 3 earned an 8.0, lauded for its return to speed, Tails inclusion, and impressive level design, though some felt the content was less than Sonic 2. Finally, F-117's Stealth Operation, Night Storm, a flight simulator, received a 6.75 rating. While challenging, reviewers appreciated the detailed missions and multiple viewpoints, making it a good simulator, despite the price. This page features reviews for 4 distinct games. First up is Kamen Rider Zo, an interactive movie-style game based on the film, scoring a 7.25. Reviewers praised its faithful use of movie footage, branching story paths, and fast-paced gameplay, recommending it for both boys and girls. Next is Record of Lodoss War, the heroic legend, an RPG based on the anime, which received a 5.5. It was seen as a disappointing port, despite the source material, with simple graphics and awkward, time-consuming tactical combat. Third is Dragon's Lair, the classic Laserdisc adventure game port, earning a 6.75. While the animation style was lauded, the gameplay, essentially a series of QuickTime events, was criticized for being unforgiving and often preventing progress. Finally, Madu Monogatari 2, Arle, 16 years old, an RPG featuring Arle from the Puyo Puyo series, also scored a 6.75. This entry was seen as a fun and accessible RPG, with charming characters and good game balance, improving upon the previous game. This page reviews 3 Game Gear games. World Derby, 6.5, is a realistic horse racing sim praised for its detailed data and replayability. Alien 3, 5.25, based on the movie, is a challenging action game with sudden enemy encounters. Torarete Tamaruka, 4.75, is a puzzle/action game with complex traps, but a poor balance. Editorials discuss upcoming releases, including highly anticipated Sonic 3, with a possible impact from its 16 meg size, and the delay of Mortal Kombat. Sonic 3, Madu Monogatari 2, and Kamen Rider are recommended, with Alien 3 for Game Gear users, and Kamen Rider for Sega CD owners. This page covers the BeepMD Reader Race, a project where readers rate games on a 10-point scale, creating average scores displayed as odds. Readers act as critics, providing commentary. Submissions for this month are due June 4th. Coming in at number 1 is Virtua Racing, scoring an impressive 9.3269 reader average. Reviewers rave about its realism, smooth polygon graphics, and competitive versus mode, although some note the limited tracks and lack of replays. Further down, at 58th place, is Shin Megami Tensei for the Mega CD, with a reader average of 8.1914. Reader opinions are mixed. While praising the deep story and Demon Fusion system, critiques point to high encounter rates and difficulty spikes. Some note the graphics differ from the Super Famicom version, sometimes for the worse, but appreciate the updated battle visuals. In the other section, hard driving is featured, with a 7.254 reader average. Compared to virtual racing, its blocky polygons are highlighted, but some readers find unique charm in its quirky simulation and unpredictable elements, like the cows. The magazine commentary notes that virtual racing has overtaken Phantasy Star in the overall rankings. This page continues the Mega Drive reader race, showcasing ranked games and reader averages. Specific games are detailed, including Streets of Rage 3 61st, praised for its size, but with mixed feelings on controls and music. Hyperdunk 84th and Jungle Strike 87th are also discussed, highlighting strategic elements and difficulty. Phantasy Star IV 98th is appreciated for its depth and unique features, despite a missing FM sound in the reprint. Finally, Harukanaru Augusta 105th, a golf game, is praised for its realism. The off-track betting section includes reader comments on re-releases, remakes, and game packaging. This page continues the BeepMD reader rankings on the left, listing various games and their positions. The main focus shifts to several detailed game introductions. Nobunaga's Ambition. Howden, ranking at 118, is a strategy title noted for its initial complexity but rewarding depth once mastered. Reviewers appreciate the solid gameplay and long playtime, though some felt additional features like custom officers or scenarios were missing. Further down the rankings, Game no Kanzume Volume 2, 166th, and Volume 1, 199th, are compilations discussed. Volume 2 includes some quirky titles, but readers noted issues with some games being unplayable or poor quality. Volume 1 is highlighted positively for featuring Flicky. Eternal Champions, placed at 205, is described as a fighting game distinct from typical Japanese releases, featuring complex command inputs and special moves that some found difficult or unnecessary. Castlevania Bloodlines, ranking 216, is reviewed positively for its graphics and stage design, although some felt the sound was lacking given the cartridge size. King of the Monsters, at 263, is found enjoyable for its city destruction element, but the slow charge time for special moves is seen as a drawback. A small section at the bottom mentions Wonder Boy games, noting that titles like Wonder Boy 2-1, Monster Lair, can now be found at very cheap prices. This page continues the BeepMD reader rankings down the left and right columns, showing various games and their positions. The central area features detailed reviews and information on specific titles. Prominently reviewed is Blue Almanac, an RPG by Kodansha. The reviewer acknowledges its RPG genre, likening it initially to Final Fantasy. Despite some critique on the battle system and balance, the reviewer finds the space opera story surprisingly engaging and suggests it's a game where perseverance is key, though they note the company seems to have withdrawn from the market. Another game highlighted is Raiden Densetsu by Micronix, a vertical shooter. The review discusses its difficulty, noting it's a classic of the genre with various ports available, but specifically comments on the Mega Drive version's sound effects being a notable drawback. Towards the bottom there's a section titled Buy If You See It, featuring Nostalgia 1907, a game released on Mega CD, described as having been popular initially but now difficult to find. Below that is a note on Awesome Possum, a potential new game concept that seems to have been shelved or unreleased. This page continues the BeepMD reader rankings on the left and right, showing the movement of various games. Prominently featured is a focus on Game Gear software, with a section dedicated to the top 10 selling Game Gear games of 1993. This list includes titles like Shining Force Gaiden 2, Shining Force, The Sword of Haja, Puyo Puyo, Sonic and Tails, Sonic Chaos, and Doraemon. Following this, there's an article discussing predictions for the Game Gear reader rankings, using the sales data as a basis, and suggesting Shining Force. The Sword of Haja is a strong contender based on its quality and sales performance. The page also includes details on reader prediction games. One challenges readers to predict the ranking of the Urusei Yatsura game. Another, the Odds game, asks for predictions on the average score for Heavenly Symphony, a Mega CD RPG described as a collaboration between Sega and Fuji TV. There's a call for participation in the reader race and prediction contests, mentioning prizes like MLB Sports Talk Baseball and other MegaDrive software. Finally, the editorial wrap-up notes that the reader race is now expanding to include Game Gear software and looks forward to the next month's results, highlighting upcoming MegaDrive releases. This page covers a wealth of Sega-related news and events. There's excitement around the Virtua Racing Plus WAN Pack, a limited release bundle showcasing the Genesis Model 2 with the impressive Virtua Racing, demonstrating the console's capabilities. Anticipation is also high for the upcoming Tokyo Toy Show, where next-generation hardware is expected to make an appearance. On the goods front, new accessories for the Game Gear are highlighted, including a battery adapter and a carrying case. A unique device called Pocket Talk is featured, enabling wireless communication and even fortune-telling between players. Events include a successful commemoration for the Ogre Battle film adaptation and the 4th International Dolphin and Whale Conference, which interestingly ties into laser active software. The BattleTech World Championship reports on intense robot combat competition. The new release section covers various media. Gamers can look forward to CD releases for World Heroes 2 Jet and The Art of Fighting 2 video, along with a CD for Graduation 2 featuring character songs and drama. Several music singles and albums are also listed. This page is Volume 4 of Be Mega Racing Freak, shifting focus from video games to real-world racing action. It covers the opening round of the 1994 All Japan F3000 series held at Suzuka Circuit on March 19-20th. The report notes the race drew 48,000 spectators, kicking off the season for the highly competitive single-seater series. Despite a slightly smaller field size of 18 cars compared to previous years, the intensity of the battles remained high, especially considering this series was a proving ground that produced F1 drivers. The article highlights the key points of interest for the season: the championship battle, the challenge from international drivers against Japanese talent, and the competition between tire manufacturers Bridgestone, Dunlop, and Yokohama. Images show the cars on track, glimpses of drivers like Ross Cheever, Kei Hoshino, and Mika Salo, who finished third, along with Japan's top finisher in fourth. There are also shots of race queens and the podium celebration, where foreign drivers featured prominently, adding to the narrative of the international versus domestic challenge. It's a detailed look at the start of the 3000 season, setting the stage for the year's racing drama. This page dives into the world of J.League football, specifically highlighting a match from the 1994 season's Suntory series. The focus is on the game between Jubilo Iwata and Yokohama Flugels at Iwata Stadium. The dramatic headline points to a sensational moment delivered by Edu of Yokohama Flugels. The article describes Edu's incredible game-winning free kick from 40 meters out, a spectacular strike into the top left corner that left the goalkeeper and fans stunned. This goal is presented as an example of the immense impact a single play can have in football, especially set pieces. Edu is lauded as the league's most spectacular one-shot player, noted for his consistent ability to score directly from free kicks and corners, surpassing other renowned players with his 13th free kick goal. The match summary indicates Yokohama Flugels won 21. The article also touches upon Jubilo Iwata's response to the loss, mentioning the acquisition of players like Suker and Daiei, which is expected to intensify competition within the team. The page also includes a section for a J.League quiz called Mega Calcio, where readers predict match outcomes, although the details of the quiz itself are brief. Overall, it's a celebration of a specific, memorable moment in the J.League season, focusing on the brilliance of a single player's skill. This page delivers a special report on the highly anticipated arrival of Super Street Fighter II on the Sega Mega Drive. The headline bursts with excitement, proclaiming the port is finally decided and highlighting the game's flashy return. It confirms the release date is set for late June, priced at 10,900 yen, with a massive 40 megabit cartridge size, signifying a significant achievement for the platform. The focus is heavily on the new challengers, introducing the 4 new characters joining the iconic roster. Character portraits and brief descriptions showcase T-Hawk, Cammy, DJ, and Fei Along. Cammy is noted for being part of a special force and being cute. DJ is described as a fighting musician with rhythmic attacks, and Fei Long, inspired by a movie star, is praised for his real techniques and sharp attacks. Screenshots provide a glimpse of the game's visuals, including gameplay featuring some of the new fighters. This page clearly generates buzz for the game's faithful port to the Mega Drive, emphasizing the expanded character lineup and the high quality brought to fighting games on the console. This page dives deeper into the Sega Mega Drive port of Super Street Fighter II, showcasing the impressive visual quality with multiple screenshots that aim to prove the game pushes the hardware's limits thanks to its massive 40 megabit cartridge. It addresses past concerns about sound quality, confidently stating that this new port will deliver clear character voices. The article details the various game modes, confirming features like speed adjustment, versus modes, group battle, and notably, the return of the 16-player tournament mode from the arcade. It even hints at potential exclusive features due to the large cartridge size. While noting the price is a bit high, it justifies it for having the arcade experience at home, and mentions a dedicated controller being released alongside. Additionally, the page covers the upcoming Street Fighter II animated movie, announcing advanced ticket sales and even a unique recruitment drive for Miss Chun-Li and Miss Cammy image girls with tempting prizes. This page is a special report announcing the upcoming release of Load Monarch on the Sega Mega Drive, declaring it has gone hyper! This version is presented as a completely new game compared to its PC and SFC counterparts, boasting beautiful graphics and an interesting original mode, making it highly recommended. Load Monarch is described as a stage-clear simulation game, where the objective is to defeat all enemies and claim all territory within a time limit. Gameplay involves expanding your territory by having soldiers clear land and build camps, which requires money. Money is earned by collecting taxes from your land, and managing the tax rate is crucial. Too high and soldiers won't work. Too low, and you might run out of funds. The ultimate goal for each stage is to defeat the enemy bosses. Defeating a boss instantly turns their territory into yours, quickly increasing your land and income. It's advised to constantly check the boss's strength. The game features multiple countries and kings on each map, all competing to expand their own territory in real time, meaning you can't afford to be passive. The map moves constantly, and you must watch out for enemies expanding or potentially surrounding you, necessitating frequent map checks and strategic planning. A critical caution is the time limit. Running out results in a game over. This version is a reprogrammed title by Sega based on the original Falcom game. This page focuses on the story mode of Load Monarch, highlighting how interesting it is. The Mega Drive version features an original story mode and a record challenge mode. This unique story mode acts as a helpful guide, teaching players techniques from basic to advanced. It's designed to be enjoyable and offer a fresh experience, even for those familiar with other versions of the game. The first chapter, titled, I Am a Man, Customs of the Monarch Kingdom, introduces Prince Alfred, who must defeat bandits within 160 days by following the kingdom's customs to prove himself worthy of ruling or face banishment. This chapter is presented as a tutorial covering the game's basics, with the magazine stating it should be easy to clear by following the in-game messages. The chapter is broken into 4 stories, each focusing on defeating bandits, with increasing complexity. Screenshots display the game's quarter-view map for movement and combat, showing terrain, units, buildings, and character portraits like Prince Alfred and Old Lance. A point advice section gives tips, such as merging soldiers to create stronger units, indicated by S, M, L, and strategically positioning strong forces at borders to prevent enemy invasions. The page emphasizes that Chapter 1 is just the start, setting the stage for the game's core mechanics and story. The next page continues the guide to Load Monarch's unique story mode, detailing the challenges and characters of later chapters. Chapter 2, titled The Great Ordeal of Princess What's-Your-Name, Save Princess Rubia, introduces Princess Rubia from the neighboring Mardica Kingdom and Prince Gesu, Alfred's rival. Alfred must pass 3 trials to meet Princess Rubia, who is depicted with lively character art. Prince Gesu is also shown and described as a challenging rival. Chapter 3, The Youthful Mountains, Monarch Kingdom targeted by monsters, escalates the conflict. A monster army, led by the powerful 4 heavenly kings, invades the Monarch Kingdom. Alfred teams up with the fairy Spanky and Princess Rubia to fight back. Screenshots show battles in various terrains, including snowy mountains where troop movement is affected by blizzards. One of the heavenly kings, General Geopaldon, is featured. The guide hints at chapters 4 through 6, showing the bosses for each. Woodhead in Chapter 4's Forest, Manta in Chapter 5C, and Shakurin, the final Heavenly King, in Chapter 6's Volcanic Terrain. The content emphasizes that the difficulty increases significantly from this point, requiring careful strategy and speed to overcome the challenging bosses and events. This page features a special report on the Sega Mega Drive ports of Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes, and Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes 2, with an urgent release decision announced. The first section focuses on the original Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes for Mega Drive, featuring Prince Sirios. Screenshots show the classic top-down RPG gameplay, exploring towns and battling monsters, alongside character art. The report notes the detail put into the character drawings and expresses anticipation for the game. Key details listed are that it's a Sega RPG, with release date and price currently undecided, and it will be a 16 megabit cartridge with battery backup. The bottom section covers Dragon Slayer, The Legend of Heroes 2, focusing on Atlas, the son of Sirios. This game is also lined up for Sega Mega Drive. Screenshots display explorations, battle scenes, and character event portraits. The text mentions Atlas's peaceful days being shattered by an earthquake, which was just a prelude to a greater disaster. It's noted that the screenshots are from the PC version, with excitement for how the Mega Drive port will turn out. Like the first game, it's confirmed as a Sega RPG, with undecided release and price, also on a 16 megabit cartridge with battery backup. This page features a special report on the Sega Mega Drive release of Langrisser 2. The headline announces an urgent report on the tactical simulation game, revealing it's being published by Messiah, scheduled for release in late August, priced at 9,800 yen, and will be a 16 megabit cartridge with battery backup. The article expresses anticipation for the game, stating it will cover the backstory starting from the prologue, and notes that preparations for battle differ slightly from the first game with more commands available. A section details the game's story, touching on the descendant of an ancient hero battling chaos, the state of the world 100 years later with the Empire invading, and introducing the young protagonist Elwyn, who lost his parents. Gameplay mechanics are broken down, showing screens for reading the prologue and understanding victory conditions. It then explains the setup process before battle, including deploying mercenary units for each commander, visiting the shop to buy and sell items, viewing enemy and friendly unit placements on the map to gather information, and finally, placing your commanders on the map before starting the game. This provides a comprehensive look at the crucial pre-battle phase. This page continues the extensive coverage of Langrisser, diving straight into the game's initial scenarios. It details the objectives, challenges, and key characters players will encounter in the prologue and Scenario 2. Scenario 1, titled Prologue, sets up the initial conflict, where Elwyn must protect Liana from the antagonist Baldur, who is attacking a village. The core objective is to defeat Baldur, but failure can occur if Elwyn falls, or if Baldur escapes. The initial battle sees only Elwyn and Hein under player control, emphasizing the need to use terrain wisely. A crucial point is the arrival of powerful enemies like Leona and Laird after a few turns, serving as a soft time limit to eliminate Baldur before being overwhelmed. Following the rescue, Scenario 2, Departure, begins with Elwyn and Liana at Lord Loren's mansion. They are tasked with escorting Liana to the Great Temple of Light, as the Empire is pursuing her. The objective here shifts to guiding Liana to the map's exit, or eliminating all enemies. This scenario introduces Scott as an ally, and the immediate threat comes from Zolm attacking the mansion. The strategy suggested involves using a rear exit where weaker ambushers await, while Loren handles the main assault from Zolm. The page includes screenshots showing the game's tactical map view and character dialogue portraits, illustrating the turn-based combat and story progression through visual novel-style conversations. It effectively lays out the first steps of Elwyn's journey and introduces key allies and adversaries. This page continues the coverage of Langrisser 2, focusing on the third scenario and introducing the key characters from the early game. Scenario 3, titled Zolm Again, sees Elwyn and his party attempting to escape Zolm's pursuit while heading for the Great Temple of Light. This scenario introduces the enemy knight units and features challenging ambush reinforcements that appear after defeating certain foes, culminating in the appearance of General Vargas. Fortunately, a mysterious knight arrives to assist, turning the tide. The page also features a comprehensive introduction to the main characters encountered in the first three scenarios. These include the protagonist Elwyn, the key figure Liana, the mage Hein, the knight in training Scott, Lord Loren, the formidable generals Vargas and Leon from the Radagard Empire, and the enigmatic mysterious knight who provides timely aid. A large illustration of Liana is included, with a caption teasing her increased role in future scenarios. The text also notes that the game features over 20 scenarios in total, promising more details on later chapters in the next issue. This page kicks off the new release scramble section, giving us a first look at some exciting upcoming titles. First up is Pulseman, an action game developed by Game Freak, the team behind the earlier title, Magical Taruto-kun. This game was previously known as Spark, but the content remains the same. As you can see from the screenshots, it's a futuristic action platformer with dynamic environments, and a unique hero who utilizes electricity. The game mechanics involve charging and unleashing electric power for attacks and movement, battling against the villainous Drive Waruyama. The magazine notes the ability to choose from the first 3 stages, and highlights that the game is nearing completion at 80%. Below that is Uncharted Waters. New Horizons, the second game in Koei's historical simulation series. This title expands significantly on the original, now featuring 6 protagonists with distinct stories, allowing players to pursue different careers like explorers or pirates. The screenshots show the game's world map, character portraits, turn-based ship combat, and even a mini-game involving poker. The review praises the refined system and event generation that keeps the game fresh, noting it's 100% complete and ready for release. It looks like a deep and engaging experience for fans of exploration and strategy. This page continues the new release scramble, showcasing upcoming sports titles. First up is Champions World Class Soccer, a game centered around the excitement of the World Cup. It features 32 international teams, allowing players to guide countries like Germany, Brazil, or even Japan, who didn't make it to the real tournament, through the competition. The game includes options for offsides and fouls, and a robust tournament mode starting with group qualifiers before advancing to the finals. It also supports 2-player versus matches. The preview notes the game is 100% complete and set for a June 17th release. Below that is J.League Pro Striker 2, the highly anticipated '94 version of Sega's popular J.League series. This sequel adds new teams such as Belmare and Jubilo, and incorporates reinforced team strategies. The system has seen significant upgrades, improving goal animations, supporter cheers, and overall game algorithms. It's highlighted that this version supports simultaneous 4-player gameplay. The game is also 100% complete and scheduled for a July release. Finally, we see Forza Joe, another J.League title. This game boasts refined graphics and character models, and features detailed player data that influences in-game tactics. The radar system is improved, using uniform colors to easily distinguish teams. Forza J is also set for a July release. This page continues the new release scramble, this time featuring a mix of genres. First up is Zool, an action-packed platformer starring an alien ninja from the End Dimension who loves martial arts and mischief. Players guide Zool through 6 bizarre and colorful stages to find his way back home. The preview highlights the vibrant levels and diverse challenges waiting. It's noted as a single-player title from Infocom, set for a July 15th release. Below that is Street Basketball Jamit, a one-on-one basketball game. Despite a slight delay, the game promises intense head-to-head action, with detailed player movements and controls. The developers put a lot of effort into realistic player reactions and atmospheric sound design, including player taunts. Beyond standard one-on-one, there are unique modes, like one played with 2 balls. This Virgin Games title supports 2-player versus, and is due out in late July. The bottom section provides new release overflow information, touching on the growing excitement around Mega Drive and Saturn ahead of the June toy show. While June offers many releases, July is poised to bring even more highly anticipated titles for both cartridge and CD formats. Puyo Puyo 2 is expected to be formally announced at the toy show. Also featured are screenshots for games like Demolition Man, RoboCop 3, and the Addams Family, alongside images of new controllers like the Capcom Pad Soldier MD and Infocom's Jumbo Stick. This page kicks off a special feature from Sega AMR&D department. Number 2. The team behind the revolutionary fighting game, Virtua Fighter, titled Approaching the Last Mystery of Virtua Fighter. This section promises a permanent preservation edition guide that completely reveals secret data and hidden techniques for all 8 fighters. Since its debut, Virtua Fighter made a massive impact, and mastering the hidden moves is key to separating the casual players from the experts. This guide aims to lay bare all of these secrets. The page features a dynamic illustration by Katsuya Terada, showcasing the game's diverse cast. It provides a detailed profile for Akira Yuki, including his fighting style and background, alongside a comprehensive list of his techniques. This list includes button inputs and is illustrated with corresponding screenshots, making it easy to learn and practice his powerful moves. It's highlighted that throw techniques are fundamental, but might not be listed in the main table, emphasizing the depth of the combat system. This deep dive into Akira's abilities is just a taste of the data promised for all 8 characters, offering players the ultimate resource to dominate the competition. This page continues the in-depth guide from Sega AMR&D Department. Number 2, focusing on Virtua Fighter, detailing 3 more key characters: Jackie Bryant, Jeffrey McWild, and Sarah Bryant. Jackie Bryant is presented as a master of Jeet Kune Do, specializing in kick techniques. His background as a professional race car driver ties into a personal quest for revenge. The page lists many of his signature moves, demonstrating the dynamic kick-based offense he employs, supported by screenshots showing the execution of these techniques. Next up is Jeffrey McWild, a powerful fisherman who practices pancratium, focusing on devastating throws. His story also involves a drive for vengeance after a tragic event. The guide showcases his formidable close combat abilities and throwing techniques, highlighting his strength, again with detailed move inputs and corresponding images illustrating the impact of his attacks, like power slams and mountain splash. Finally, Sarah Bryant, Jackie's sister, is also featured, utilizing Jeet Kune Do, but with an emphasis on chain attacks and rapid combos. Her story is intertwined with a sinister plot. Her section details her versatile moves, including illusion kicks and double joint pad, showing how her speedy, multi-hit techniques work in practice through the accompanying screenshots. The guide continues to provide comprehensive data to help players master these diverse fighting styles. This Virtua Fighter character guide introduces Kagemaru, a ninja with speed and throwing skills, Wolf Hawkfield, a powerful wrestler focused on throws and strikes, and Pai-chan, a fast-paced fighter specializing in chain attacks and counters. Each character's backstory, fighting style, and key techniques are detailed, with accompanying screenshots demonstrating their moves. The guide emphasizes the technical skill required for Kagemaru, the raw power of Wolf, and the ease of learning yet effectiveness of Pai-chan's style. This page continues the deep dive into Virtua Fighter, focusing here on Lao Chan, the master of Koshenkan, known for his powerful striking techniques. The page includes a breakdown of his signature moves, with input commands, and accompanying screenshots, demonstrating their execution. Beyond the characters, we get a fascinating look behind the scenes, with the reveal of early development models and CG renders. It showcases polygonal models from various stages for characters like Pei, Wolf, Sarah, and Jeffrey, offering insight into the evolution of their designs and highlighting the ongoing CG modeling work for characters like Akira, Jackie, Cage, and Lao, noted as 65% complete at the time. Adding more character detail, the page finally reveals Cage's face without his mask, explaining it was designed to be removable after a set time from the game's release. Lastly, the final boss, Durl, is introduced with her CG model, noting the experimental use of polygons and teasing that her true identity will be a major reveal in the game's sequel. This page features a deep dive into the development world of Sega's AM2 division, primarily focusing on Virtua Fighter. AM2 R&D manager, Yu Suzuki, provides insights into the upcoming Virtua Fighter 2, confirming it will utilize the Model 2 arcade board, emphasizing the use of textures for enhanced realism, a departure from the first game's focus purely on polygons. He mentions a research trip to China influenced character design and martial arts styles for the sequel. Suzuki also updates on the Saturn port of the original Virtua Fighter, assuring fans it will be a full-spec conversion including textures, despite slight polygon reductions, promising a unique feel compared to the arcade. Additionally, the page includes an update on the Virtua Racing Time Attack contest for the Mega Drive, showcasing current top times. There's also a promotional section asking for postcards for a chance to win a special Virtua Fighter jacket, and a tip about a hidden slot machine game in the arcade version of Daytona USA that can extend gameplay. This page features a look at Fatal Fury 2 on the Mega Drive. The page highlights how this version is a little different from other releases, specifically focusing on changes to the gameplay mechanics. The article discusses several key differences, Canceling moves is described as much easier and more responsive, almost like a special move in itself, offering a refreshing feeling. Hit detection for various techniques has also been significantly altered, with some moves now hitting multiple times where they didn't before. For example, Terry Bogard's Burn Knuckle and Andy Bogard's Zenaken, Shadow Slash, are noted to hit twice, which is said to make them quite strong. Command inputs for special and evasion moves have been simplified, making them easier to execute on the MegaDrive pad. The game also features 3 selectable speed settings and includes a survival match mode. Screenshots illustrate some of these changes, showing characters like Terry, Andidi, Joe Higashi, and Big Bear in action. The overall impression is that while it's Fatal Fury 2, the gameplay experience has been tweaked considerably for the Mega Drive hardware and controller. The top section of the page also lists other games featured in this issue: Dynamite Headdy, Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, and Outrunners. This page continues the look at Fatal Fury 2 on the Mega Drive, following up on the previous discussion of gameplay changes. The focus here is on showcasing some of the game's most impactful moments and character special moves. It highlights dramatic scenes and confirms that, as promised, the special and super special moves of the 4 Heavenly Kings, Billy Kane, Axel Hawk, and Lawrence Blood, and Wolfgang Krauser, are being detailed. A specific point is made about certain attacks hitting multiple times, reinforcing the earlier point about altered hit detection. The page also includes a notable section humorously focusing on Mai Shiranui's character model animation, describing her dangerous jiggle. The lower part of the page introduces 2 of the 4 Heavenly Kings, Billy Kane and Axel Hawk. For each character, their background is briefly described, and several of their signature moves, including special and super special moves, are illustrated with screenshots and command inputs. Billy is described as a master of the staff seeking revenge, while Axel Hawk is a former boxing champion making a comeback. The moves shown highlight their distinct fighting styles, such as Billy's various staff techniques and Axel's powerful punches and rush attacks. This page continues the exploration of Fatal Fury 2, focusing on its unique gameplay mechanics and introducing more of the formidable opponents you'll face. It highlights the crucial line movement system, explaining how it allows for tactical positioning and evasion. The page also details the evasion attack, a risky but effective maneuver that leaves the lower body vulnerable but provides upper body invincibility. A helpful tip is provided on using the big and small attack buttons for line jumps, noting the difference in jump height and speed. The developer chimes in, expressing excitement for the game, particularly the fast-paced speed mode, and challenging players to take on the game's tough opponents. Finally, the page introduces the remaining 2 4 Heavenly Kings, Lawrence Blood, the world's strongest bullfighter, and Wolfgang Krauser, the powerful Emperor of Darkness. Their backgrounds are briefly described, and several of their signature special moves, including powerful super specials like Lawrence's Bloody Flash and Krauser's Kaiser Wave, are showcased with screenshots. This page provides an in-depth look at Treasure's unique action platformer, Dynamite Headdy. The preview showcases the game's distinctive opening demo, which starts in a seemingly peaceful puppet world, before being violently disrupted by the Emperor's forces, leading directly into the chaos of Act 1. It also features a segment from Stage 3, detailing Heady's unexpected encounter with the boss Maruyama backstage. The reviewer highlights their strong appreciation for Treasure's signature sound design and the incredible, fluid animation of the characters, noting that screenshots alone don't do justice to the game's dynamic visuals. Character profiles are also included for several key figures: the annoying boss Maruyama, the mysterious Jacqueline Dressy, and her assistants Kale and Karstai, giving a glimpse into the game's quirky cast. The game is reported to be 70% complete and is for one player only. The next page dives deeper into the world of Dynamite Headdy, starting with a look at the various forms of the mysterious boss, Jacqueline Dressy, presented as fashion collections for each season: Spring's Floral Princess, Summer's Passion Dragon, Autumn's Iron Master, and Winter's Otoko. These distinct looks are not only visually striking in pixel art, but also hints at the unique challenges each form presents. Moving on, the preview explores Stage 4, featuring the imposing mid-boss Lefty. The reviewer notes the stage feels incomplete, specifically highlighting the puzzling absence of the key master boss at the end, speculating on the reason behind this omission despite the stage appearing fully developed. The article then touches upon later stages with a section titled Ride Over the Rear End, showcasing action-packed screenshots where Headdy navigates obstacles like cannons and a large tank, emphasizing the constant need to adapt and overcome challenges posed by the game's imaginative level design. A brief message from Treasure offers a glimpse into the developer's perspective, expressing their hope that players will enjoy their new creation. Finally, a column focuses on Treasure's signature multi-jointed characters, praising the artistic and technical skill required to make them move so beautifully and dynamically, noting that it takes true craftsmanship to breathe life into these intricate designs. The page wraps up with an excited look ahead to future encounters and thrills in the game. This page features a detailed look at the Sega Mega Drive port of Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon. Coming from the popularity of the manga and anime, this game is an action title, released in late June 1994 for 8,800 yen. It's described as an enhanced version of the Super Famicom game, adding new stages and special moves. The screenshots show classic beat-em-up gameplay, where the sailor soldiers take on enemies. The page highlights three main characters: Sailor Moon, Sailor Mercury, and Sailor Mars. Sailor Moon is noted for her signature hairstyle and being a bit clumsy, with special moves like Moon Tiara action. Sailor Mercury is the brainy one, with high IQ, excelling in rapid attacks and using moves like Shine Aqua Illusion. Sailor Mars is the fiery shrine maiden, who fights with powerful kicks and techniques like Fire Soul. The reviewer seems excited about the arrival of the popular heroines on the Mega Drive, promising plenty of action and new content for fans. This page continues the look at Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon on the Mega Drive, expanding on the stages and introducing the remaining sailor soldiers. It details the first three stages of the game. Stage 1 takes the battle from the peaceful Juban shopping street to the confined spaces of a department store elevator, where enemies lie in wait. Stage 2 is set in a fun amusement park, leading into a candy house filled with tempting treats, though hitting the panda train can cause damage. Stage 3 starts on a busy highway, fighting atop moving trucks before heading to a mysterious secret factory where robots are being manufactured, featuring dynamic moving platforms. The page also highlights the other two main characters: Sailor Jupiter, also known as Makoto Kino, known for her strength and justice, and Sailor Venus, Minako Aino, who has prior experience fighting as Sailor. Versus screenshots showcase their gameplay and special moves. A developer's comment confirms the game's arrival, praising its visuals and sound, noting that all 5 characters now have command input special moves, adding new stages and promising exciting action from the entire team. This page is all about the high-speed arcade action of Outrunners on the Mega Drive. It highlights the core experience of this classic racer, emphasizing the head-to-head split-screen gameplay and the incredibly diverse courses that take you around the globe. The page features screenshots showcasing the unique split-screen view, a signature feature of the home port allowing 2 players to race simultaneously, mirroring the arcade's dual-monitor setup. Various environments are pictured, from sunny coasts and snowy roads to bustling cities and exotic locations like pyramids and Japanese gardens, illustrating the wide variety of stages available across the East Side courses. Commentary sections touch upon the thrill of crashing and the distinctive feel of the East Side courses compared to the West. Dynamic collage elements, with cartoonish reactions like "Woo! Why?" and "Smash!" capture the energetic and sometimes chaotic nature of the racing. A note from the developers discusses the challenge of bringing the large-scale arcade experience, including the 2-screen display and competitive racing, across so many diverse tracks, to the Mega Drive. But they express satisfaction in creating a fun title within the console's limitations. This page features the magazine's Mega Talk Reader Mail column, filled with various questions and comments from fans. Readers write in about diverse topics, from personal opinions on editors and sensitive life questions to comments on specific games and media. One letter discusses the game Virtual Cameraman and a featured girl. Another mentions Where's Wally? And there are thoughts on game company presidents. A prominent section is this month's BGM, which includes recommendations for music artists like Leroy Hutchison and Chroming Rose / Blind Guardian. The main focus, however, shifts to the theme of Sonic the Hedgehog, featuring a screenshot from Sonic's CD. The editors ask readers to submit requests for songs that fit the image and feel of Sonic, welcoming diverse interpretations. There's also a brief section presenting miscellaneous reader survey results or gossip points from the week, adding a lighthearted touch to the column. The page provides a snapshot of reader interaction and editorial responses, covering a range of topics from specific game details to broader cultural references. Dated March 29, 1994. This Sega Saturn-focused issue features editor Ron's perspective on the console's potential, emphasizing high-quality software and third-party support. Readers express desires for diverse games, including arcade ports and enhanced use of the Saturn storage. Concerns about storage and backup are also raised. The issue also previews the august theme of the Sega Genesis/Super 32X, encouraging reader input. The page concludes with reader artwork and messages showcasing enthusiasm for various games and systems. This page features R's Voice, a section where readers express their opinions freely about the game industry. Several readers weigh in on the state of next-generation consoles, suggesting that having standardized hardware like the 3DO could make consoles more affordable if manufacturers focused on unique software instead. There's a call for more simple, creative games alongside large-scale productions, referencing titles like Virtua Racing and Phantasy Star as examples of challenging hardware limits. Other opinions touch on specific games and developers. One reader feels Sega hasn't been treating Sonic with the care he deserves recently, noting a lack of the same passion seen in earlier titles like Spinball or Sonic Drift. Another comment suggests that Sega abandoning the Master System when the Famicom dominated the market was necessary, but that the current Mega Drive market is established enough for a different approach, seeing the release of Virtua Racing as a sign of Sega taking the Mega Drive in a new direction. The section concludes with a reader stressing the importance of using iconic characters like Sonic effectively, as they represent the company's image. Below this is Hitokoto from Beep, a collection of short, diverse comments from readers on various topics, often humorous or quirky, like eating chocolate while chewing gum or wanting to see specific game adaptations. Finally, the Illustration City section showcases reader artwork. This page features dynamic illustrations, including what appears to be fan art based on Mortal Kombat, capturing the intense fighting action of the arcade game. GOB, a new initiative, invites readers to collaborate on a Sega Mega Drive game, focusing on a Japanese-style psychic kick RPG. Readers are asked to submit impactful titles by May 20th. The magazine also features a Truth of MD Rumors section, discussing rumors about various Mega Drive titles, including Golden Axe, Virtua Racing, and Sailor Moon, along with Sega Saturn tie-ins and arcade ports. A software recommendations section highlights Lunar, the Silver Star, the Superjunk Present returns, and the Mega Driver's slang section provides humorous commentary on player jargon, including terms for certain gameplay preferences. The 6th Sega Veterans Health Meeting features discussions about classic Sega games. Alex Kidd in Miracle World is praised, prompting a call for a revival. Dream Match Rivalry pits Starjacker vs. Star Force and SDI vs. Alien Syndrome, with reader-voted results. A segment on Ninja Princess is included, along with reader mail seeking help identifying games like Loretta's Statue and The Adventure of Musashi. The Megatalk section includes news, illustration requests, and mentions of ongoing features like the Truth of MD Rumors. The next page is titled Planet Sega Stadium and is presented by Sega, highlighting this as the 6th issue. A section on the left, Sega Stadium Requests When You're Troubled, covers reader mail. One reader asks about selling video magazines and suggests they could gather 1,000 postcards in support. Another requests expanding the MD Masterpiece Theater feature, mentioning games like Shining Force. The MD Masterpiece Theater section reviews Sorcerian on the Mega Drive, released in February 1992. A screenshot shows the party-based action RPG gameplay. The text comments on the game's quality, noting issues with font readability, but acknowledging the high quality of the sprites and graphics for the time, especially in combat. At the bottom, there are illustrations and comic strips. One features Phantasy Star characters. Another shows Sonic the Hedgehog under the title Sonic Legend. Comic strip discusses recent games and arcade trends, mentioning Virtua Fighter as the top arcade game. Other illustrations touch upon Pro Striker, VR, and anticipation for Sonic 3 and 3D Sonic, potentially hinting at an upcoming toy show event. The next page is a special feature covering a listener event for Megumi Hayashibara's radio show, Tokyo Boogie Night, celebrating its 100th broadcast and her birthday on March 30th. Photos show the event with talk segments based on listener postcards, a regular listener corner, a gathering of fellow voice actors, and a quiz. There's also a brief profile or interview where she reflects on her current stage in life and work. A section invites listeners to submit ideas and contributions for her MegaDrive segment, promising prizes for selected submissions. The page includes a preview titled, "Lots of MDCDGG info in May 2," highlighting upcoming content. It mentions features on record of Lodos War and Madu Monogatari 2 for Game Gear around May 1st, and features on Sonic 3 and Light Crusaders for Mega Drive around May 16th. It also notes an upcoming Game Gear title, Torarete Tamaruka? Around June 1st. Finally, there's information on how to contact Sega's Joy Tele-Information Service and a humorous section listing funny rules of the month related to gaming. The next page features the 13th installment of the Treasure Factory column, presenting an honest report from the development site. The developers at Treasure discuss the challenges faced during the creation of Dynamite Headdy, sharing various struggles from programming complexities to overall workload. Team members like Kono, Maekawa, Suzuki, Shindao, and Tamizuka weigh in on their personal difficulties with the project. The page includes artwork and small comics related to Dynamite Headdy and characters from Gunstar Heroes. There's also a section dedicated to fan submissions in the Chagaman Gallery, acknowledging the large number of entries and the passion of the readers. The next page kicks off a new lecture series aimed at aspiring creators, featuring Natso Squared Suzuki-sensei. In this initial installment, Suzuki-sensei touches upon various influences and points of interest for creators, including hardware like Macintosh Power Packs, specific commercials, and characters like Jeff, possibly a nod to Bonk's Adventure or other CMS, rising Chinese superstars, and even the lifting of the Ezo deer hunting ban, promising a focus on sound creation next time. The page also introduces a new corner soliciting game ideas from readers, with the first submission proposing a historical drama action game inspired by the popular Mito Komon series, including unique characters like Judoka Yataro and Yellow Ford. Comic strips throughout the page depict the magazine's characters navigating game-related discussions, development challenges, and even a brief mention of VR technology, giving a light-hearted glimpse into the industry's world at the time. The next page is a full-page advert for Santa, a Sega specialty store offering mail order. It lists a massive catalog of Sega hardware and software. Featured consoles at special prices include the Wonder Mega 2, Mega Drive 2, Mega Drive CD2, and the handheld MegaJet. There are also sections for new Mega Drive and Mega Drive CD releases, highlighting titles like Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam, FIFA Soccer, Outrunners, and Sonic 3. The page is primarily filled with extensive price lists for a vast array of games covering multiple genres for Mega Drive CD, and Game Gear. Ordering instructions via phone and postal transfer are provided, along with shipping fee details. It's essentially a comprehensive retail offering for Sega fans. This page promotes the soundtrack releases for the Heavenly Symphony Formula 1 World Championship 1993 game, likely a Sega CD title. It highlights two separate CD albums. Volume 1 features the original soundtrack music taken directly from the Cridrom game. Volume 2 offers a dramatic soundtrack, with remixes blending Fi-1 themes with rock, dance, and rap styles to capture the excitement of the sport. Both albums are recommended by Kazuhiro Kawai, an F1 pit reporter. They were released on April 25th, each priced at 2,300 yen. This page features content from third-party developers Capcom and Tengen. Capcom leads off with the exciting news that Super Street Fighter II is confirmed for the Mega Drive, alongside plans for the 94 Champion Edition tournament at Budokan, a major event for fans. They also share a peculiar and unsettling story about a friend's room. The Tengen section is a reader mailbag focusing on a world Tengenization project. It includes a trip report mentioning the purchase of the game Versus and features reader letters discussing games like Versus and tournament plans. Screenshots of Versus and another game are shown, along with a hand-drawn illustration. An address is included for reader submissions. This page dives deep into the upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the Sega Genesis, calling it the legend of the world's most famous hedgehog. It confirms the game's release date in Japan and details like price, genre, and support for two-player simultaneous or versus play, a feature expanded upon since Sonic 2. The page starts by reflecting on the series' history, highlighting the groundbreaking speed and graphics of the original Sonic the Hedgehog released in 1991, and the evolutionary leap of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 from 1992. Which introduced Tails and enhanced competitive modes. It sets up Sonic 3 as building a new era with enhanced features and a continuation of the story. It then explains the game's setup. Following Sonic's victory over Drive, Robotnik's fortress crashes onto the mysterious floating island. The impact causes the island's guardian, Knuckles the Echidna, to lose consciousness. Upon waking, the shrine is damaged, and the Chaos Emeralds are scattered. Seeing Sonic arrive, Knuckles mistakenly believes Sonic is responsible and steals the emeralds. The page provides a profile for Knuckles, detailing his age, favorite foods, and signature abilities like digging and finding hidden paths. Screenshots from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 illustrate the series' progression and introduce the visual style of the new entry. This Sonic the Hedgehog 3 page analyzes the competitive aspects, focusing on Grand Prix, Match Race, and Time Attack modes. Screenshots illustrate race selection, character choices, and results. Grand Prix races across 3 zones, Match Race uses a single zone over 5 laps, and Time Attack prioritizes fastest lap times without items. The page compares Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, finding no clear best character. Their strengths vary by zone. A table details their performance metrics: speed, acceleration, grip. Finally, it provides specific strategies for the challenging Azure Lake Zone, including optimal starting positions, item locations, and time-sensitive areas, including a spring trap warning. The next page continues the deep dive into Sonic the Hedgehog 3's competition mode, providing tactical guides for 4 more challenging zones: Balloon Park, Chrome Gadget, Desert Palace, and Endless Mine. For Balloon Park, the advice centers on mastering the tricky elephant nose jumps and the hot air balloon mechanics. It suggests Knuckles may have a slight edge here due to his glide, and offers tips on effectively using items and timing stops before hazards. Chrome Gadget is highlighted as the most technical zone, requiring precision to complete multiple laps cleanly. The page details a crucial section with a switch, explaining 2 distinct routes depending on whether the switch is activated, and the strategic trade-offs involved. In Desert Palace, the guide stresses the importance of precise speed control, as time differences are minimal. It warns against starting too fast, and cautions about disappearing platforms near the finish line, which can cost significant time if fallen from. Tails is noted as potentially being at a disadvantage. Finally, Endless Mine is described as a multi-layered zone where characters with high top speed may excel. Strategies include maximizing speed off the start, precise spin dashing after breaking obstacles, and using specific springs effectively. It specifically mentions Tails needing maximum speed to navigate certain parts. Overall, the page offers valuable zone-specific tactics to help players shave off precious seconds and gain an advantage in the intense multiplayer races. This page kicks off with a deep dive into the first zone of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Angel Island Zone. It immediately highlights the dramatic opening where Knuckles steals the Chaos Emeralds, setting the stage for the adventure. Angel Island is described as a classic, familiar type of zone for the series, emphasizing the lush graphics and environmental detail. This section walks through the zone, showing typical enemies like the Rhinobot and Monkey Dude. It covers the action sequences, including dodging aerial bomb attacks and confronting the first boss, the Rhinobot mech, piloted by Dr. Eggman. A significant event is shown. The zone is dramatically set ablaze after the boss fight. A key feature discussed is the new backup function. This isn't just a simple save. It records your progress, including cleared zones and collected Chaos Emeralds. It allows you to select from 3 character options at the start: Sonic and Tails as a team, Sonic solo, or Tails solo. The backup feature also offers significant benefits beyond just saving, such as the ability to re-enter any cleared zone, or even retry special stages you previously failed. Finally, the page briefly touches on playing as Tails solo, noting his unique advantages like flying and swimming, suggesting it's a different experience worth trying after clearing the game with Sonic. The next page moves on to the second zone, the Hydrocity Zone. It describes how Sonic and Tails end up here after being trapped by Knuckles, and emphasizes the reliance on water mechanics, making breath management a key challenge. The zone features obstacles like walls that close in, but the article suggests using the spin dash makes them manageable. The page shows various scenes from the zone, including the shark-like robot jaws and encounters with Dr. Eggman. It highlights the chaotic water currents that toss Sonic and Tails around, stressing the powerful natural forces they face. The first boss encounter in Hydrocity is shown, a water-based mech that washes the heroes around, described somewhat humorously. A later boss fight involves a tornado-like waterspout and projectiles from Eggman, requiring precise jumping to attack. A major feature discussed is the introduction of 4 barrier types in Sonic 3, a significant upgrade from the single barrier in previous games. These are the Aqua Shield, Flame Shield, and Lightning Shield. All deflect projectiles, but each has a unique property. The Aqua Shield prevents drowning underwater, the Flame Shield allows a fiery dash, and the Lightning Shield enables a double jump and attracts rings. It's noted that Flame and Lightning Shields are lost upon touching water. The article also mentions that when playing as Tails solo, he cannot use the special abilities granted by these barriers, or the double spin attack. This page moves on to Zone 3, the Marble Garden Zone. It's described as a highland area reached after being carried by a current, noting that while the map layout isn't overly complex, the zone is filled with many traps, increasing its difficulty. Highlighted traps and enemies include spiked wrecking balls encountered early on, and platforms that rise or fall based on movement. Enemies like the Spiker and Mantis are shown with brief descriptions of their behavior or weak points. There are also features like rolling pillars that can be manipulated. The zone features an aerial boss battle against Drive Eggman, noted as the first of its kind in the series. The page also features a dedicated section on the special stage. These stages, recurring in the Sonic series, offer a different challenge: running around a looped map to collect blue spheres. The catch is that touching a blue sphere turns it red, and touching a red sphere ends the stage. The objective is to collect all blue spheres, which turn into rings, to clear the stage and obtain a Chaos Emerald. The article emphasizes the importance of strategizing how to collect the spheres, providing examples of good and bad paths. Finding hidden big rings within the main zones is the key to accessing these stages. This page shifts focus to Zone 4, the Carnival Night Zone. It's described as having an atmosphere reminiscent of Casino Night, but feels more like a lively festival or amusement park. The zone features a relaxing amusement park like BGM and encourages running freely, though it warns that taking too long on the various attractions can lead to timeouts. Visuals include balloons, glittering lights, and features like the Sonic Cannon. Enemies like the Flying Batbot are shown, typically hovering quietly until Sonic approaches. Gameplay mechanics include rotating platforms that move up or down depending on your input. The mid-boss is a block-breaking challenge, where hitting the top extends a bar, requiring you to hit it with a spin dash. The main boss fight against Drive Eggman features electrical attacks, requiring players to dodge large balls before attacking. Defeating him, as usual, rescues the trapped animals. The page also details a different kind of bonus stage. Unlike the special stages focused on collecting Chaos Emeralds, this one is for accumulating items. It involves spinning a giant capsule machine handle and using springs to collect items like barriers, rings, and 1-ups dispensed from capsules. Zone 5, the Ice Cap Zone, is the penultimate zone in the adventure. Players can experience a thrilling snowboard sequence, though only Sonic can ride. Freezing mechanisms require quick action in 2-player mode, as characters can be frozen and need teamwork to thaw. A secret boss battle awaits, and items can be frozen, requiring a spin attack to release them. Tails is more effective against the mid-boss, using his spin attack to break ice. The page also showcases a Sonic goods collection of Spring, Summer '94 apparel and pin badges, available from March to July '94. This page features the Konami user hotline column, Konami's Room. It opens with some personal anecdotes from the columnist about Golden Week and a trip to Korea. The Gomenasai section includes an apology from Konami, explaining that a new game wasn't shown at the Tokyo Toy Show as planned because they didn't have the necessary materials ready. This delay apparently impacts titles across the Mega Drive, Super Famicom, and PC. They still encourage everyone to visit the Konami booth. The Picno section delves into user feedback about Konami's drawing product, Picno, particularly concerns about the save card's capacity. It also mentions a contest where winners' submitted art will be featured in the column, showing off some of that fan art. The postcard to date section showcases more user contributions, including a fantastic drawing featuring Sparkster, a true Konami hero who graced both the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. Finally, a brief message thanks readers for their support, and teases new Konami titles coming to the Mega Drive in the next issue, stating they won't lose to Sega's own offerings. This page is dedicated to the world of Lunar, featuring updates and fan content. The main title is Lunar Express. First, under Golden Week Progress, there's an apology for the delay of the Lunar 2 Magic System Q&A, which is now planned for the next issue. It also announces the results of the Toshio Hata illustration contest from the previous month. A feature titled, Lunar Eye, Where is That Person Now? Rams arc revisits the character Rams from Lunar, the Silver Star, discussing his current situation, and includes a sketch of him. The highlight is the Toshio Kubuka Cup contest. Illustration gallery announcing the winners of the fan art competition. The grand prize goes to Hakahori Hito-san, with runner-up prizes awarded to Nekohita Boy-san and Ryuya Kana-san, and a special Shigemasa prize to Hiroban. Winning illustrations are displayed, and comments from the judges, including Toshio Kubuka and Akihiro Shigemasa, are included. Winners receive signed Lunar 2, Eternal Blue posters, and other prizes. Finally, a section provides more detailed Lunar 2 behind-the-scenes stories, noting the hard work and dedication of the game arts staff working on the game. This page dives deeper into the world of Lunar, Eternal Blue, continuing the Lunar Express theme from the previous issue. Featured is the third volume of the Lunar, Eternal Blue setting collection, showcasing various monster concept designs. We see sketches of unique creatures, including a sea snake-like monster and a multi-eyed being, with comments on their appearance and potential abilities, like the possibility of being transformed by magic. The page also includes a Lunar 2 staff introduction, this time focusing on Naosumi Hanama, the main programmer. He discusses his work on special effects for the game, noting he adapted tools used in Alicia Dragoon. He feels the game's scenario is particularly strong, comparing it to an emotional anime, while the battle scenes have the feel of an action game. Development updates continue, with a Lunar 2 development diary entry from Akihiro Shigemasa, recounting a development camp where plot points and character outlines were refined. Akihiro Shigemasa also provides a personal update, mentioning the completion of voice recording. Yoichi Miyagi, the president of Game Arts, gives his monthly message, describing the development progress as being in the difficult final stretch, much like the end of a marathon, with about 80% complete. Finally, a small section asks for reader submissions, specifically seeking input on the presentation of battle defense commands. This page is the Sonic Communications section, a community and news hub for Sonic software planning games. It features various columns and fan contributions, prominently mentioning Shining Force CD. The Dogen Taguchi's Proverb Dojo column includes a humorous dialogue, and there's a reader mailbag section with short, amusing comments and titles from fans. The Sonic Communication Mania section announces the theme for the next issue, How to Train Characters in Shining Force CD, encouraging readers to submit their tips. The page also showcases fan art, including pieces titled Shining Three Sisters, Meohirda, and Hijikitera of the Hidden Tale, featuring characters likely from the Shining series and related games. Finally, Instruction Manual OL Hanako Okada's OL Diary expresses delight at requests for the return of a Sonic Communication 2P segment, and provides a brief update on Shining Force CD's smooth development progress, noting the early deadline for the Mania submissions due to her planned leave. This page is the Okone Shimbun, or Okone newspaper, dated May 7, 1994. It's a community news section from Compile. The main articles announce Compile's participation in Japan's largest toy show, the Omoka Show. This is their first solo appearance, and they plan a large Puyo Puyo display and a Puyo Puyo tournament. They also encourage fans to become Okone performers by wearing Puyo Puyo t-shirts, cosplaying as characters, and performing, with prizes for participants. A Puyo Puyo character popularity poll is featured, with the top results listed including Draco Centaurus, Arle Naja, Carbuncle, Satan, and Witch. They mention voting is still open. The page also announces Puyo Puyo Mega Drive +1, following a previous release, targeting Mega Drive users. There's a point system for submitting postcards, where points can be exchanged for Puyo Puyo themed goods like fans and telephone cards. The Okone Drawing Corner showcases fan art, noting that submissions are increasing but space is tight. The illustrations feature characters likely from Compile's games, including Puyo Puyo. Small manga panels are scattered throughout the page. This page is the Baka Yu section, an editorial and writers area featuring various articles, reviews, and reader content. One striking piece reports on a shocking, astounding scoop about opossums, portraying them as hated pests, accompanied by a censored screenshot hinting at related content. Another section, Professor Anabin's high-class gamer training course, provides tips for the game Might and Magic 2i, focusing on strategy for progression and resource management, The page also covers Lethal Enforcers by Konami, with the reviewer noting its positive impact on their stress and academic focus, specifically mentioning the ROM version. Other segments include The Book of Souls, discussing works like Tokyo University Story and Golden Boy, and a recommendation for Captain America, likely referring to the game adaptation. There's also a reader present offering a video, a photo showing the Baka Opos, and selected editor's notes. This page dives into the world of networked electronic media, specifically focusing on its impact on karaoke, declaring it's taken over by this new wave. The article explores the concept of set-top boxes, humorously comparing them to home game consoles like the Mega Drive placed atop a TV. It discusses how these boxes could enable new services like home banking and electronic bulletin boards. The author uses playful slang, referring to game names like Jumper as Blausen and Ice Cream as Gelato, and calling the home game console itself a home information terminal. Beyond just CDBASED karaoke, the article highlights the rise of network karaoke, explaining the technical backbone that makes it possible. MIDI and MPEG. MIDI is described as efficient performance data, small enough to send over phone lines, while MPEG is presented as the key to transmitting compressed video. Diagrams featuring Sonic the Hedgehog illustrate the difference between sending raw audio/video data and using MIDI, performance data plus local sound source, or compressed MPEG video. The piece notes that experiments are even showing near VHS quality video being sent over standard phone lines using MPEG, suggesting these technologies are crucial for the future of interactive entertainment, like online karaoke duets. This page features Jam Ojisan's column, titled, "Experience is the Best Teacher," discussing the brewing war between the next generation of game consoles. The article kicks off by highlighting the start of the third game hardware war, with the release of Panasonic's 32-bit 3Do Real. While acknowledging the 3Do's potential, the author notes a current lack of compelling games. The focus then shifts to the upcoming launches of Sega's Saturn and Sony's PlayStation in the fall. The column delves into the strategies of each company, noting that while PlayStation is currently seen as trailing, Sega holds a strong position, largely due to the massive arcade popularity of games like Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. The author emphasizes the importance of strong third-party support and touches on the differing genre strategies, questioning the lack of major RPG titles planned for PlayStation compared to action games. The discussion also covers the crucial need for strengthening sales and distribution networks for the success of these new platforms. A screenshot from Final Fantasy VI is included, seemingly to underline the significance of major RPGs in the market, alongside a note asking if strong distribution is key for such titles. Finally, a corner is featured, inviting readers to submit questions about games and the industry to the magazine. This page features Eric C. Sedensky's column, Nail-Biting Game Experience Log, with the section titled, "It's Natural That Those Guys Become Villains." The column delves into the nature of villains in video games and other media. The author specifically discusses the portrayal of evil, contrasting serious works like Steven Spielberg's film Schindler's List with video games. He points out that games like Wolfenstein 3D feature Nazis as antagonists, and while this is common, the depiction of evil needs realism or impact to make a story compelling. The column argues that a villain's strength and realism are crucial for a story or game's enjoyment, suggesting that crappy games often fail because their enemies are uninteresting. He notes that recent Creedrom games are becoming more cinematic, with actors portraying characters, making the role of the villain increasingly important. The column concludes by contemplating the continued appearance of historical enemies like Nazis in games, even if such evil is something we would not wish to see reappear in reality. The page includes a profile of the author and a cartoon illustration depicting caricatures holding symbols like a swastika and a skull, visually connecting to the theme of villains. This page provides a detailed look at upcoming software releases for Sega platforms, serving as a vital guide for anticipating new titles. The schedule is organized by platform, covering the standard Mega Drive, the CD-ROM add-on Mega CD, and the less common Mega LD format. Each platform schedule is broken down by expected release month, from May onwards, including sections for games with undecided release dates and even re-releases. For each game, key details are provided, such as the title, anticipated release date and price, the manufacturer, game genre, and technical specifications like cartridge capacity and compatibility with peripherals like the mouse or backup save features. Notable upcoming Mega Drive games include major titles like Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Mortal Kombat, Fatal Fury 2, and Super Street Fighter 2, alongside fan favorites like Uncharted Waters 2 and Dynamite Headdy. The Mega CD schedule highlights titles like Dragon's Lair, Star Wars, Rebel Assault, Shining Force CD, and the highly anticipated Lunar Eternal Blue. The Mega LD section lists a few upcoming titles for that niche format.
This page gives players a clear overview of the exciting software lineup on the horizon for Sega's hardware.
This page continues the software schedule, specifically detailing upcoming releases for the Game Gear. It also includes a report from the BeepMD editorial team, highlighting news from the Super Toy Show, mentioning Super Street Fighter 2, upcoming games from major publishers, and even news regarding next-generation consoles like the PlayStation and PCFX. The main focus is the SoftMaker information section, where developers share updates. Sega emphasizes fighting games this month and recommends Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Taito discusses their laser-active 3D shooter, Hyperion, featuring high-quality CG.
Capcom confirms that Super Street Fighter 2 is coming to the Mega Drive.
GameArts reports that Dear My Friends is out for Mega CD and teases a Lunar 2 announcement. Acclaim Japan mentions the release of Mortal Kombat Complete Edition and its opening animation. Koei announces Uncharted Waters 2, New Horizons for Mega Drive, and a special edition for Mega CD. Virgin Games lists a busy summer lineup including RoboCop vs. Terminator, Chuck Rock 2, The Chaos Engine, and NBA Jam. Masaya asks fans for ideas for post-release plans for Langrisser 2. Other messages cover titles like Zool and Virtual Cameraman 2 for Laseractive. This page features a reader survey, inviting readers to share their demographics, gaming habits, and preferences. It provides clear instructions on how to fill out the survey postcard, including how to mark answers for various questions. The survey covers several key areas: reader demographics like gender, age, and occupation, ownership of Mega Drive software, and, importantly, which gaming magazines readers frequent. It also asks readers to list articles they found both interesting and uninteresting within the magazine. A significant part of the survey focuses on hardware and software trends. Readers are asked which game consoles they currently own and which they plan to purchase in the future, providing a snapshot of the competitive landscape of the time, including Sega's Mega Drive and Saturn, Sony's PlayStation, Nintendo's Super Nintendo, and various other systems like the PC Engine, Neo Geo, 3DO, and PC platforms. Finally, readers are asked to list up to 3 games they are planning to buy, featuring a wide variety of titles across different genres and consoles, such as popular fighting games like Super Street Fighter 2 and Fatal Fury, RPGs like the Dragon Slayer and Lunar series, action games like Pulseman and Dynamite Headdy, sports titles like FIFA International Soccer and NBA Jam, and many others. The page concludes with a list of winners from the April Reader Present campaign, giving away prizes ranging from Sega Mega Drive and Game Gear software to stationary sets and gaming peripherals. This page serves as a menu and features a deep dive into the action RPG, Ragnosenti, known internationally as Ragnosenti. The main focus is on checking out the animal companions that join the protagonist, Ramen. The game is listed as being 100% complete and is a single-player experience published by Sega, released on June 17th for 8,000 yen, categorized as an action RPG on a 16-megabit cartridge with battery backup. Screenshots showcase the top-down gameplay, with Eamon and his animal allies battling enemies, dialogue scenes, and the options menu, where players can manage companions and save their progress. The text highlights the importance of animal partners, explaining they can be summoned 2 at a time and offer unique abilities to assist the player. The page also includes a small article about the developer, GA Entertainment, rebranding as Nextech, and Ragnosenti being their first release under the new name, emphasizing their focus on creating enjoyable, next-generation experiences. The top section lists other games covered in this part of the magazine, including Hybrid Front, RoboCop vs. Terminator, FIFA International Soccer, Panorama Cotton, Greatest Heavyweights, Wimbledon, and Fry 117 Stealth Operation Night Storm. This page dives deeper into the early to mid-game of Ragnosenti, known as Shin Souseki Ragnosenti in Japan. It highlights key areas and challenges players will face. The game features action sequences with simplified simulation-style travel between locations. The story begins with Amon, who loses his ability to understand human language, but gains the ability to understand animals, embarking on a journey with his pet Flappy. The guide covers several areas, including the Anemone Coast, a sandy beach with hidden items, and an octopus boss that, upon defeat, leads to a penguin boss who joins a diamond's party. It also details Hot Daisy, a dangerous volcanic area where falling rocks are a hazard, and a fire dragon requires specific ice attacks to overcome. The guide mentions a lava pool obstacle here that necessitates the penguin companion's help. Finally, Burn Daisy is introduced, a cave labyrinth with tricky appearing stairs and a peculiar splitting peanut-like boss in its depths. The text emphasizes the importance of using animal companions and understanding specific boss mechanics to progress. This page dives deeper into the world of Ragnosenti, showcasing several key areas and mechanics. We see the Iris region, where the protagonist Amon encounters a village where people live but the boy still cannot understand them, and the mysterious Magic Rose Village inhabited by a family of monsters. A unique highlight is the ability to race a cheetah in Milia Village. Winning this race allows the cheetah to become a companion, drastically increasing a common's movement speed and range, which is crucial for traversing the environment and overcoming obstacles like large holes. The vast Camellia Desert is introduced, filled with traps and puzzles like the Vanishing Wall, which requires interacting with specific elements to progress. The desert also hides ancient ruins, and even an animal village with dinosaurs. The article emphasizes the importance of strategically using different animal companions, such as the speedy cheetah and the bat, which can stop enemy movement. Narrative points like the search for information about the Tower of Babel and meeting a fortune teller are also teased, promising an unfolding story. The preview concludes by looking forward to the game's June 17th release, and more information in the next issue.
This page features Hybrid Front, a simulation game set to release on July 22nd. It reveals the game's compelling world and premise, centering around a three-way conflict. This battle erupts when the player, part of the Deliveryman faction, obtains a crucial data disk. They become embroiled in a war against the Orbital Corporate Alliance, Cocoon, and the United Earth Treaty Alliance, Pito. The conflict starts on a smaller scale, but quickly escalates, spreading from desert regions to the entire Earth, and eventually into space, all driven by the need to understand the disk's contents. The page introduces key figures standing in the way, including bosses from Cocoon and Pito like Carson Bolt and Ed Cooper, highlighting their distinct personalities and roles in the story. Screenshots showcase the game's tactical maps, illustrating how the environment changes drastically depending on the scenario. We see battles taking place in deserts, urban landscapes, and the vastness of space, demonstrating the game's expanding scope and difficulty. The urban map, for instance, shows more complex layouts and denser enemy presence, hinting at the increased challenge as the game progresses. The transition from Earth, initially dominated by Pito, to the solar system with its mixed forces centered around Cocoon, is visually represented by world and solar system maps. Its clear hybrid front aims for a grand, evolving conflict. This page dives deeper into the world of Hybrid Front, introducing the key allies and units you'll encounter early in the game. This page introduces the main characters who join Sharila and Paul, and showcases some of the units featured in the initial scenarios. Following the introduction to the conflict, this page highlights the human element, focusing on the strong personalities of your allies. 7 characters are introduced, including Sharila, the leader of the Deliverymen, Paul, her partner, and other unique individuals like a hot-blooded old man, a combat unit survivor, and a translator. Their brief descriptions hint at their diverse backgrounds and roles in the unfolding story. The page also previews some of the units you'll see by Scenario 3. This includes units from Sharila's Deliveryman group and the enemy Cocoon forces. Various types of units are shown, from basic infantry to armored vehicles and unique mechanical units, giving a glimpse into the tactical options and challenges you'll face on the battlefield. Finally, a message from the developer emphasizes the game's unique nature, describing its rich, novel-like story and setting. They highlight Hybrid Front as a blend of simulation and novel, offering a deeper narrative experience than typical simulation games. This page features the upcoming game, RoboCop vs. the Terminator, highlighting the epic clash between the two iconic movie characters on the Mega Drive. Described as a must-have for mech enthusiasts, the game is an action title featuring only single-player gameplay. The article builds excitement around this crossover, where RoboCop is sent to the future to combat Skynet's forces, the Terminators. It briefly introduces RoboCop as the cyborg police officer and the Terminator as Skynet's metal machine, some with artificial skin. A key selling point emphasized is the realistic and smooth character movement, which is said to be just like in the movies, even noting details like light reflecting off RoboCop's body. Screenshots showcase the action in city environments, day and night. The first stage, the trainer level, is set in downtown Detroit, where RoboCop takes on criminals before facing the first boss, the Fat Baby. The article also draws attention to the enemy death animations, describing them as a significant highlight. Enemies die in a splatter, with body parts scattering and heads flying, noted with exclamations of surprise and gore. Even the bosses are said to have dramatically gory death sequences. This page dives into the heavy assault weaponry available to RoboCop in RoboCop vs. the Terminator. The game allows you to pick up various powerful weapons scattered throughout the stages, although you can only carry 2 at a time. If you pick up a third, the one you weren't actively using is dropped. A key point is that losing a life will revert you back to your default Auto 9 pistol. Featured weapons include the standard Auto 9 with its 3-shot burst, the powerful bazooka, the area effect grenade launcher, and the close-range flamethrower. More advanced options are the homing missile gun, which locks onto targets, the incredibly powerful but rare ED-209 Gatling gun, the precise laser gun, and the plasma rifle, described as having the greatest destructive power. The article then takes us through stages 2 through 5. Stage 2 is set in the streets of Detroit, where RoboCop deals with criminals and faces off against a Terminator. Stage 3, the Toxic Farm, sees RoboCop infiltrate a Skynet-controlled factory with a tough tank boss. Stage 4 is Delta City under construction, where the unexpected challenge is confronting RoboCop 2. Finally, Stage 5 is the OCP office complex, also under Skynet's control, culminating in a battle with the formidable ED-209. The maker's comment emphasizes the crucial role of choosing the right weapon, particularly for the difficult boss encounters. This page focuses on the Sega Mega Drive game, FIFA International Soccer. The title highlights the satisfying feeling of executing a wall pass. The article emphasizes the game's realism, noting the distinct feeling of dribbling, chasing down the ball, and ball control in various situations. It also praises the field scale, the intense atmosphere, and the perfectly reproduced crowd sounds, attributing this quality to being developed in England, the birthplace of soccer. The game allows up to 4 players. A detailed section breaks down the controls for both having possession and not having possession, including actions like dribbling, lob passes, heel kicks, shooting, wall passes, player control, sliding tackles, cursor movement, speed bursts, and shoulder challenges. Set-piece controls are also explained for corner kicks, throw-ins, free kicks, and penalty kicks. The page then delves into team tactics, covering team coverage, adjusting defensive, midfield/forward areas, team strategy, basic strategies like long ball, defense, attack, and team formation, choosing formations like 352, 442, etc. The terminology section explains key football actions within the game, such as chip passes and the effective wall pass technique, noting that a good wall pass is key to scoring. The maker's comment highlights soccer as a sport of speed, thrill, and suspense, recommending this software for anyone who has experienced live soccer's excitement, calling it a gem of a game. This page dives into the upcoming Sega Mega Drive title, Panorama Cotton. A key highlight is the significant increase in cartridge capacity from the initially planned 16 megabytes to a whopping 20 megabytes. This boost has allowed for more impressive demo sequences with increased animations and, notably, incredibly clear and sharp sound quality. The game itself is a 3D shooting game that features 3 adjustable speed levels during gameplay. The page introduces the main characters, including the energetic Witch Cotton, the graceful Fairy Queen Silk, and the mysterious Velvet. Screenshots showcase the vibrant, albeit challenging, 3-dimensional environments and enemies. A comment from the manufacturer praises the quality of the animation achieved on a cartridge, calling it amazing, and recommending players witness the soulful demo. The game is currently 70% complete, planned for an early August release, supports 1 player, and is priced at 9,500 yen. This page delves into Greatest Heavyweights, a realistic boxing simulation that promises a fierce challenge. The main draw is the tournament mode, featuring 8 legendary heavyweight champions including icons like Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, Jack Dempsey, and Rocky Marciano. You get to choose one of these greats to compete against the others on the difficult path to the championship. The game emphasizes realism, with features like a damage meter below the screen, showing where your fighter is taking punishment. It also offers a mode to create your very own original boxer, customizing their appearance, and training them across various categories like power, speed, and stamina, using different equipment. Screenshots showcase the intense in-ring action, dramatic knockouts, and the decision process, alongside portraits of the historic fighters. The content highlights the demanding nature of the sport, stating that the road to champion is long and tough, and you simply must win. The game is confirmed to be 100% complete with a 2-player mode available. This page covers Wimbledon for the Mega Drive, bringing the prestigious tennis tournament to your console. It aims to capture the essence of top-tier tennis, featuring a robust roster of 24 players, both male and female. One of the standout features is the support for up to 4 players simultaneously using the Sega Tap, making it a great party game. The game emphasizes accessibility and helpful features, such as indicators for the ball's bounce point and trajectory, and semi-automatic shot selection, making it easier for players to get into the action. You can choose between different court surfaces, like grass, hard, and clay, in exhibition mode, each affecting ball speed and bounce distinctly. For solo players looking for depth, there's a training mode, where you pick a player and develop their skills like serve power, forehand, and backhand by competing in matches. The game also includes a tournament mode, complete with a bracket display, where you strive to reach the top. According to the developers, these friendly features and the multiplayer support make Wimbledon an essential title, especially for playing with friends. The game is confirmed to be 100% complete. This page dives into F-117 Stealth. Operation Nightstorm, a simulation game from EA Victor. It boasts a 100% completion status and is a single-player experience. The focus here is the F-117 Nighthawk, the iconic stealth fighter. The game puts you in the cockpit of this cutting-edge aircraft, simulating training from the early 1980s. Utilizing polygon graphics, it aims for a realistic feel, building upon a system similar to their previous title, LHX Attack Chopper. The page details the game's core gameplay and, importantly, showcases the F-117's arsenal. It lists several key weapons you'll employ: the AIM-9P Sidewinder for air-to-air defense, the potent GBU-27200LB laser-guided bomb, the AGM-88, a HARM missile designed to target enemy radars, and the AGM-65 Maverick missiles in both A and E variants for precise ground strikes. It also mentions the M61 A120mm Vulcan cannon, noting some weapons become available later in the game. This overview gives players a taste of the technical depth and powerful tools available for tackling missions in the silent dark with the Nighthawk. The game was released on May 27th for 9,800 yen. This page shifts focus slightly to the F-117 Nighthawk Stealth Fighter, exploring a game likely titled F-117 Stealth Fighter or similar. It kicks off by describing the game's premise, starting with training in Nevada in 1982 before sending you, a stealth pilot, on missions across various real-world conflicts leading up to and including the Gulf War in 1991. The game breaks down into distinct operations, starting with basic bombing and missile training, then moving to combat missions like Nickelgrass in 1982 and El Dorado Canyon in Libya in 1986, where you assist F-111s and bomb targets like Madman. By 1989, you're involved in Just Cause in Panama, providing air support, and ultimately the page highlights the Desert Storm campaign in 1991, focusing on attacking communication centers and radar sites. The screenshots showcase the polygon graphics, depicting cockpit views, target acquisition, and bomb deployment. An interesting narrative detail mentions an encounter with a MiG-29 Fulcrum, highlighting the F-117's stealth capability, as the MiG pilot seemingly doesn't detect you. The game transitions to modern times after the Gulf War, suggesting new equipment becomes available. A message from the developer emphasizes the game's use of stealth technology and polygon graphics, calling it cutting-edge software. It appears to be a detailed simulation covering a significant period of stealth aircraft history. This page explodes with the news that the highly anticipated arcade fighter, Mortal Kombat, is finally arriving on Mega Drive and Mega CD, following its Game Gear release. It highlights the game's signature digitized characters and shocking, brutal techniques, which were a major talking point in arcades. The page provides a comparison between the cartridge, Genesis, and Mega CD versions, noting the key differences. While the graphics appear similar in screenshots, the Mega CD version is described as a perfect port of the arcade original, including all the voices and music, plus bonus video clips. The cartridge version, however, had to make some compromises due to its limited capacity, resulting in some missing voices and slightly slower character animations. The page also introduces some of the iconic fighters. Liu Kang, a Shaolin monk with unique special moves,
Sonya Blade, the agile fittest special forces operative and the game's only female character. Johnny Cage, the movie star with a fighting background. And Kano, the dangerous leader of the Black Dragon Syndicate. Bios for each character are included alongside screenshots of them in action. It's clear the Mega CD version is presented as the superior port for the dedicated fan. This page continues the deep dive into the highly anticipated release of Mortal Kombat. It addresses the game's age rating, highlighting the May 13 rating for the Genesis cartridge versus the May 17 for the Mega CD version, directly linking this to the Mega CD's faithful inclusion of the arcade's brutal, realistic violence that was omitted or toned down in the cartridge release, reinforcing the idea that the Mega CD port is for a more mature audience seeking the full experience. The page also delves into the game's compelling backstory, detailing the setup for the Mortal Kombat tournament orchestrated by Shang Tsung and his half-Shokan enforcer, Goro, who sacrifices defeated souls. It introduces more iconic characters joining the fight alongside those mentioned previously. Profiles for the Thunder God Raiden, the monstrous four-armed Goro, the sorcerer Shang Tsung, and the rival ninjas Sub-Zero and Scorpion are presented, each with a brief bio and screenshots showcasing their unique looks and fighting styles. Scorpion's profile notably mentions his return from the Netherrealm seeking revenge on Sub-Zero, adding intrigue to their rivalry. Release details for both versions are also included. Pioneer Laseractive is expanding its software library this summer with 3 Mega LD titles. Hyperion, a space opera shooter with stunning visuals and tight 3D action, 2-player co-op, releases May 25th for 9,800 yen. Zapping Killer Intent, an interactive drama/movie adapting a TV show, showcases the system's zapping, perspective switching, capabilities, and is slated for August release. Melon Brains, an electric book about dolphins and whales, is educational and recommended by the International Dolphin and Whale Conference, releasing this summer. These titles demonstrate the platform's versatility, from action to interactive drama to educational content. Quote, "This page is a special feature diving into Sega's strategy for the latter half of 1994, highlighted by the tagline, 'Welcome to the next level.' It announces Sega's full lineup strategy, positioning the upcoming Saturn console, slated for a November release, as the top-tier machine, described as being in the 64-bit class. Alongside this, the Genesis/Mega Drive 32X power-up booster is also expected to launch around the same time, falling into the 32-bit category. Sega plans to maintain its existing 16-bit Mega Drive, Mega CD, and 8-bit Game Gear, creating a multi-layered hardware offering as illustrated in the accompanying diagram. The article mentions covering Sega's move to its new high-tech headquarters in Haneda, Tokyo, and forecasts expectations for Sega's presence at the '94 Tokyo Toy Show, promising a look at the power of Sega's games. The page includes images showing a building, possibly the new HQ, screenshots of racing and fighting games which appear to be Outrun and Virtua Fighter respectively, a look at the Saturn console, and an arcade interior. This page features a special interview with Sega product managers about their full lineup strategy. The focus is heavily on the Sega Saturn, described as the core machine for Sega to dominate the television game market long-term. The interview confirms the Saturn is the largest-scale project Sega is putting effort into, integrating development, sales, and marketing. Regarding its status, the core specs are largely fixed, with a price target under 49,800 yen, and a target release around November. Third-party support is becoming much clearer, with many companies expressing interest, including some who hadn't previously worked with Sega. While the console's design is mostly finalized, the color is still being researched. The page includes an image of the sleek silver Sega Saturn console. Below the interview, there's a report on Sega's new headquarters building in Haneda, Tokyo, featuring a large image of the modern glass structure and Sonic the Hedgehog cheering. The report mentions the company's growth necessitating the move, and describes the new building as designed to emphasize progressiveness and a high-tech image, symbolizing Sega's future. The building is 8 stories above ground and 1 below. A Sega Saturn interview highlights the console's final development and marketing push. Product manager Hideki Okamura emphasizes avoiding hype and bridging the gap between perceived power and actual capabilities, showcasing games like Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA. 5 out of 41 planned titles have been announced, with more expected at the Tokyo Toy Show. The Saturn is envisioned as capable of both arcade ports and original 3D CG titles, as evidenced by preview screenshots of action, shooting, and soccer games. The interview also details the controller design,
incorporating MegaDrive feedback. The new Sega headquarters, a glass-covered building, is also featured. This page continues the discussion about the Sega Saturn, picking up the interview where Sega addresses the competitive landscape, mentioning systems like the 3DO, PlayStation, and NEX FX. They emphasize the positive aspect of new players entering the console market, fostering a healthy industry. The focus shifts to the upcoming '94 Tokyo Toy Show, highlighting the Saturn as Sega's key reveal. Anticipated highlights include the Saturn version of Virtua Fighter and new game announcements, including a demonstration of the Saturn's power via a high-quality CG demo featuring Echo the Dolphin, which was previously shown on television. The article even suggests playable demos of games might be available. Screenshots of Daytona USA and Virtua Fighter's training mode are shown alongside the Echo CG image. The page concludes with a look inside the new Sega headquarters building, showing the reception and lobby areas, and a large conference hall, noted for not having the arcade machines that were present in the old building. Sonic and Tails also make an appearance as mascots on this section. This page features an interview with Sega's Genesis product manager, discussing the console's evolving role. He explains that the Genesis is positioned as an entry machine for all levels of players, and with the upcoming Super 32X, it will become the core platform for both 16-bit and 32-bit games, enabling new uses with systems like the Sega CD and Genesis Nomad. The focus is shifting from releasing many titles to concentrating on creating major hit games with unique features, citing examples like the high-speed action of Sonic the Hedgehog, the exhilarating action of Gunstar Heroes, the new sensation of Echo the Dolphin, and the super realism seen in Aladdin. He also highlights the Super 32X's hardware capabilities, promising increased colors and polygonal power thanks to the Shift 2 chip, as well as improved sound. The page also briefly looks at Sega's new headquarters. It mentions the Digital Studio, formerly Multimedia Studio, which is currently under construction but seen as vital for future development, and shows a photo of its entrance alongside Sonic. Another section covers the product management and public relations departments on the 6th floor, describing them as open and busy, and includes a humorous note about a missing PR staff member. A picture of the Virtua Racing Genesis cartridge, which used a DSP chip, is also shown. This page continues the interview with the Genesis product manager, highlighting the console's hidden gems and upcoming releases. He mentions plans to announce 4 titles at the Tokyo Toy Show, and confirms the Super 32X is on track for an autumn launch, with around 10 titles planned initially, including ports and enhanced versions of existing Genesis games. The focus for software is on creating impactful titles that satisfy players, not just releasing many games. Specific upcoming titles mentioned include an anticipated great RPG, like Shinseki Ragnosenti and Surging Aura, alongside the already released Virtua Racing and Sonic 3. The manager expresses gratitude to Genesis users, calling them Sega's supporters. The page showcases various game screenshots, including the action-packed Gunstar Heroes, the football simulation J-League Pro Striker 2 featuring specific J-League teams, and an RPG battle screen from Shining Force CD, noted as a strategic RPG classic expected later in the year. The Tokyo Toy Show feature specifically highlights J-League Pro Striker 2 and teases an anticipated RPG and a treasure action game, along with demos of the Genesis Super 32X hardware. Also pictured is the Mega Jet portable Genesis console. A separate feature explores Sega's headquarters, specifically the comfortable 8th floor area including the president's office reception and a courtyard garden, noting interesting objects like a vase and statue found there, although President Nakayama was out during the visit. An illustration of Sonic running is also featured. This page features further interviews with Sega personnel, this time focusing on the Game Gear handheld and Sega's overseas market strategy. The Game Gear product manager, Shoji Kozakura, discusses the handheld's role alongside home consoles, emphasizing its use in different situations, especially for younger players. Sega plans to release about 40 Game Gear titles in the latter half of the year, focusing on popular genres like action, RPGs, and sports, alongside character-based games, promising a hot year for the system. The Tokyo Toy Show section highlights Game Gear plans, including a big tie-in with the game Coca-Cola Kid, and the potential announcement of new accessories like a rechargeable battery pack. A screenshot of Coca-Cola Kid is shown. An interview segment about overseas markets discusses the success of Sega's 16-bit consoles like the Genesis, holding over 60% market share in the US, while the Game Gear also shows strong performance. Sega plans aggressive overseas marketing and software releases, focusing on key genres. Specific titles mentioned include NFL 95 starring Joe Montana, World Series Baseball, Sonic, Echo the Dolphin, X-Men, and Tasmania, along with sequels to existing hits. They also mentioned development work happening directly in the US. Images on the page include Game Gear consoles, a Genesis/Mega Drive console with controller, and a Genesis CDX/Mega CDX unit. Screenshots showcase titles like Coca-Cola Kid, a fighting game potentially localized as Prize Fighter, and another game that looks like Night Trap, confirming the focus on varied genres for the international market. Sega's new sensory theme park, Galbo, opened in Osaka on April 14th. This marks the first in a planned nationwide network of game-themed locations. Galbo features unique attractions like ghost hunters and virtual shooting, along with a future-predicting astronomicron experience. A dedicated Sega Sonic & Tails shop offers exclusive merchandise, and Carnival Games features Sonic & Tails plushies. A Sega promotion interview highlights past arcade successes, future plans for real-time CG games, including a potential Virtua Fighter 2, and a forthcoming Star Wars arcade game. The interview emphasizes the synergy between arcade and home console gaming. The park's modern design and various attractions are showcased in accompanying photos. This page focuses on the upcoming Mega CD release, Lunar, Eternal Blue. It highlights that development is progressing smoothly, and new information is being revealed, making this a title to watch. The article mentions that this month's update covers monster attack patterns, the recently announced voice cast, and a music CD being released ahead of the game. A prominent section delves into the mysterious ruins of the Blue Tower, describing its location near a desert and hinting at its significance and connection to the main characters, Hyro and Lucia. The page is visually rich with a large illustration of Hyro and Lucia, along with screenshots or artwork showing the game's isometric perspective and detailed locations like the enigmatic Blue Tower itself. The status bar indicates it's an RPG with an undecided release date and price, showing a progress gauge and confirming it's a single-player experience. Other upcoming Mega CD titles briefly listed include Shining Force CD, Urusei Yatsura, Star Wars, Rebel Assault, Record of Lodos War, Kamen Rider Zo, and Full One Heavenly Symphony. This page dives deeper into Lunar, Eternal Blue, focusing on the varied attack methods of the monsters you'll encounter. The article explains that Lunar 2 monsters don't just use normal attacks, but also special abilities, and sometimes magic, making combat more dynamic. There are over 100 types of monsters planned, with most possessing unique special attacks that can be predicted by observing their distinct preparatory poses before attacking. The page showcases 3 examples. The hummingbird from grasslands and forests attacks normally by pecking, but can confuse your party with a strange song. The dolphin face, found in the desert, headbutts normally, but its special attack uses damaging ultrasonic waves, sometimes after hiding in the sand. The crystal knight, encountered inside buildings, performs a normal head drop attack and a special attack where it hurls sharp crystals. Screenshots illustrate these monsters and their battle environments. A Q&A section clarifies aspects of the battle system, such as how monsters decide which special attack to use based on battlefield conditions like party status and distance. It also reveals that leader monsters can direct others of their kind, potentially issuing commands like defending the leader, targeting specific enemies, or coordinating special attacks. The maximum number of monsters appearing in a single battle is currently set at 10. This insight into monster AI and variety highlights the strategic depth being built into the game's combat. This page continues our look at the diverse tactics of monsters in Lunar, Eternal Blue, specifically focusing on their special attacks. The article showcases 3 examples of unique monster abilities you'll encounter. First, we see bird-like creatures in a grassland area whose special attack isn't physical, but a confusing song, visualized as musical notes, that can cause status ailments. Next, in a desert setting, a dolphin-like monster is featured. While it can headbutt, its more dangerous move is an ultrasonic wave attack, shown as ripples, which is effective against the party members. Lastly, within an indoor environment, crystal-armored knights demonstrate their special attack of throwing sharp crystals. These examples highlight how monsters utilize varied methods, beyond standard physical attacks, to challenge players, adding strategic complexity to battles in different environments. This page features an interview celebrating the release of the Lunar, Eternal Blue music CD, the prelude, before the game itself. The interview is with Mr. Mizoguchi and Mr. Iwao, key staff involved in the production. They discuss the CD, which includes both game music and a sound drama featuring voice actors for Hiro, Lucia, and Ruby, running about 3,040 minutes long. They mention specific character themes, like Lucia's Ring of Light and Shadow, and Althena's Faraway Journey, noting how these songs convey the character's essence and will be used in the game. The staff express excitement for the game's music and art, anticipating an epic RPG climax. The page also announces the voice cast for the game. Hikaru Midorikawa voices the protagonist Hiro. Tomosada Yokoyama is Lucia, and Kimiko Nishihara is Ruby. The voice actors share brief comments on portraying their characters, highlighting aspects like Hiro's growth, Lucia's initial loneliness, and details about Ruby's character. Other cast members mentioned include Megumi Hayashibara as Althena, Ryotaro Okiawayu as Ronfar, and Aya Hisakawa as Jean, completing a notable lineup of voice talent. The page includes character art for Hiro, Lucia, and Ruby, alongside their voice actor names and notable past roles. This page features an extensive interview with Noriyuki Iwadare, the composer for Lunar, Eternal Blue. He discusses the scale of the game's soundtrack, which includes significantly more pieces than the original Lunar. He talks about how the wide world of the game influenced his compositions, leading to the use of folk instruments, and a focus on new material rather than reusing previous tracks. The interview also touches on the challenges of creating music that reflects the game's emotional and sometimes serious tone, resulting in a more orchestral feel. The page includes the lyrics and credits for two prominent songs from the game, Ring of Light and Shadow, and Faraway Journey. Additionally, it introduces voice actors Megumi Hayashibara as Lemina Ausa and Ryotaro Okiawayu as Ronfar, complete with character artwork. An advertisement highlights the Prelude music CD, encouraging fans to experience the game's atmosphere through its music before its release. This page delves into the highly anticipated Shining Force CD for the Mega CD. It's announced for a July release, with the price yet to be determined, and currently sits at 70% completion. This isn't just a simple port of the Game Gear Shining Force Gaiden games. It's described as a significant power-up, making it even more advanced than the Mega Drive's Shining Force 2. The main focus here is the revamped headquarters system. The magazine highlights its improved convenience, allowing players to adjust settings like message display speed directly in the base. A completely new command, Nakama, friends, has been added, emphasizing the game's focus on tactical battles and strategy while aiming to build a stronger connection with the characters. A screenshot shows the headquarters screen with the Nakama command visible, and another shows the settings menu for adjusting message speed and battle messages. Producer Hidekazu Takahashi shares his thoughts, particularly on the Nakama command and the new auto battle option. He notes how the auto function allows characters other than the protagonist to act on their own, which staff members found led to new discoveries by observing character movements. He even shares a humorous anecdote about the heart icon marking auto-controlled units, mistakenly thinking it was a pun before learning it signifies the characters acting by their own will. This page promises more details on the new systems on the following page. This page delves further into the new Nakama, friends, command system in Shining Force CD, building on the introduction from the previous page. It breaks down the three main subcommands: auto, talk, and status. The auto command is highlighted as a key feature, allowing players to designate characters who will act on their own during battles under computer control. This mode even allows for mid-battle character swapping, adding a dynamic layer to combat. Characters set to auto are conveniently marked with a heart icon on their status screen. The talk command lets you converse with your team members at headquarters. Rather than offering strategic advice, these conversations focus on deepening the bond with characters and revealing their unique personalities and backgrounds. Examples are shown with Wendy, the beautiful sorceress, and Natasha, identified as the sister of Prince Signet from Shining Force 2, with their dialogue demonstrating their distinct traits. Finally, the status command provides detailed information about your companions. It offers an initial overview of key stats like HP and MP for the whole team, and selecting an individual character brings up a more comprehensive screen showing their stats, learned magic, and equipped items. A detailed status screen is shown for Abyss, confirmed to be the son of the legendary knight Ken from the original Shining Force, giving players a deeper look into their unit's capabilities and history. The magazine seems to appreciate the depth added by these systems, particularly the focus on character interaction. This page dives into the battle scenes of Shining Force CD, putting a spotlight on the detailed backgrounds and impressive magic effects. The article features multiple screenshots displaying various battle environments, such as atmospheric night sequences, lush forests, and open grasslands, highlighting the entirely new artwork created for these scenes. It notes the careful rendering of weapon trails and magical effects, contributing to a visually polished combat experience. A section is dedicated to showcasing specific magic spells that colorfully enhance battles. Illustrations of characters performing spells like Heal, Level 3, Freeze, Level 2, and Spark, Level 2, are presented alongside explanations and corresponding in-game screenshots. Freeze is mentioned as a specialty of characters like archers and Wendy, while Spark is described as a powerful spell favored by the human wizard Isha, with its impressive range and visual effects. Producer Hidekazu Takahashi comments on the game's development, expressing satisfaction with the high-quality graphics, attributing it partly to a sufficient development period. He highlights the beauty of all battle backgrounds, but specifically points out the night scenes as particularly impressive, noting the effort put into them despite potentially limited appearance in the game. This focus on detail suggests a commitment to creating a visually captivating strategy RPG experience. Shining Force CD reveals initial maps from its two main scenarios. Expedition to the Land of the Evil God and Awakening of the Evil God are complete, showcasing impressive maps with different strategic enemy placements and traps compared to the Game Gear versions. 4 screenshots are provided, including inside Gondor Fortress, outside the fortress, Dark Tower, and Albert Valley, highlighting diverse gameplay challenges. The familiar game start screen, likely featuring a new girl character, is also shown, drawing comparisons to the start screens of Shining Force in an eye. This page covers Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends on the Mega CD, highlighting hidden minigames within the main adventure. The review praises the game's pacing, feeling like watching an OVA. It reveals there are 3 distinct minigames embedded in the game, accessible via arcade machines in the main character's room. The 3 types of minigames showcased are an item collection action game, a horizontal scrolling shooting game, described as Defender style, and a fighting game. Screenshots illustrate the varied gameplay styles. Another section delves into the Kotatsu Neko no Shiawase, the Happiness of Kotatsu Cat minigame. Here, you control a cat collecting falling taiyaki while avoiding obstacles. The key strategy is to move quickly and avoid the falling kotatsu, heated table. Finally, the page discusses the character Sak-chan, an original character for the Mega CD version. It reveals Sak-chan's true identity and mentions their ability to fly and change things, despite having the mind of a child. The story involves Sak-chan in major events, hinting at further developments in their powers. This page delves deeper into the secrets of Urusei Yatsura, Dear My Friends on the Mega CD, showcasing 2 of the hidden minigames introduced previously. Subdimension Fighter Infinity Nitro is a fighting game pitting Urusei Yatsura characters like Lum, Shinobu, Ryunosuke, and Asuka Ryoko against each other. Each character has distinct special moves and playstyles, with air combat being a key element. The second minigame featured is Maximum Speed, a shooting game where you control Benton's airbike. The objective is to take down alien invaders while critically protecting a crystal on the ground from ground attack robots. The challenge escalates with stage progression, demanding skillful dodging of enemy projectiles. The page also reveals another secret within the main adventure, the inexplicable appearance of a floating Tomobiki town. This massive floating structure was apparently created by Sak-chan, the original character, as a playground. The article points the finger at Ataru as the reason for Sak-chan causing this strange event. It also teases that Sakura's shrine becomes important later in the story, hinting at discoveries through deciphering ancient texts. This page dives into the Mega CD port of the popular 3D shooter, Star Wars: Rebel Assault. Originally a PC title, its arrival on Mega CD is met with enthusiasm. The game puts you in the role of Rookie One, a new pilot fighting against the Empire in this cinematic experience. The game heavily incorporates footage directly from the Star Wars movies, not just for the numerous, smooth-flowing demo sequences, but also for backgrounds, graphics, and character visuals, giving it impressive speed and impact. The article specifically focuses on Chapter 1, Flight Training. Set in the canyons of Tatooine near a secret rebel base, This initial stage serves to teach the fundamental flight mechanics, including reaction speed and banking. Instructors guide you through 3 distinct training paths: the easy course, the middle course, and a separate path. Each course presents different challenges like tight turns and rapid curves requiring quick reactions. After navigating the canyons, training concludes with a shooting practice range against rock towers. The reviewer encourages readers to imagine themselves as Rookie 1, experiencing this intense training firsthand. This page continues the training regimen for Rookie 1 in Star Wars. Rebel Assault on Mega CD. After mastering the basics in Chapter 1, you move into Chapter 2. Asteroid Field Training, Piloting and Awing. Here, the challenge is navigating dense asteroid fields while engaging targets and avoiding collisions. The article stresses the need for quick reactions, advising players to rapidly adjust aim away from approaching asteroids to maneuver the ship. It also offers crucial advice on switching between control types for precise handling. Following the chaotic asteroid field, Chapter 3 takes you to planet Killador for further flight training. Unlike the tight turns of Chapter 1, this stage focuses on navigating complex, rocky terrain, demanding subtle and precise maneuvers. The instructor, though blunt, guides you through avoiding obstacles and flying low over the surface. Successfully completing this challenging course marks the end of the formal training sequence, earning you the instructor's approval and setting you on the path to the secret base on Killador. The journey ahead is noted as even more difficult. This page delves into Chapter 4 of Star Wars. Rebel Assault on the Mega CD, marking the transition from training to intense real combat against a formidable foe, a Star Destroyer. The article details the multi-phase attack on the massive Imperial vessel, highlighting specific targets like the laser cannons on the right and left sides, labeled A and E, and the radar dish, C. It emphasizes the need to focus fire on these points for maximum damage. The action isn't limited to the Star Destroyer itself. The guide notes that once you distance yourself from the capital ship, you'll engage in thrilling dogfights against TIE fighters, B, D, F. These nimble enemies are fast, requiring quick reactions and accurate shooting from a distance. Finally, after dismantling the defenses, the ultimate goal is to target the bridge with proton torpedoes, a critical moment that absolutely must succeed. Beyond the immediate battle, the page touches on story elements directly referencing the movie, showing Leia's ship being captured and C-3PO and R2-D2 escaping to Tatooine. It also hints at Luke's journey, mentioning him speaking with a female instructor and later becoming a true warrior as he witnesses the destruction of the secret base on Tatooine and pursues enemy TIE fighters in bonus stages, labeled "and." This chapter is described as a fan-pleasing demo and a thrilling experience, escalating the challenge significantly from the training missions. This page features record of Lodos War heroic legend on the Mega CD, highlighting its impressive visual scenes. The article emphasizes how the game seamlessly integrates these cinematic sequences with the gameplay, enhancing the player's immersion. A notable point is that these visual scenes are derived directly from original video footage. The content provides a glimpse into the game's early story, starting with a goblin attack on a village and an attempted assassination on Slain. With the help of Priestess Nice, the village recovers. The journey continues as Parn, Eto, and Slain head towards the capital Alicenia to investigate the cause of the recent disturbances. Along the way, they meet Deedlit, who joins their party. The move to Alithania marks the start of the true adventure, with various events and the opportunity to build a balanced 6-person party and level up. The visual presentation is clearly a major draw and source of excitement for the reviewer. This page showcases the Mega CD game Kamen Rider Zo, announcing the return of the legendary hero. Released on May 13th for 7,800 yen, this adventure title is a single-player experience that is 100% complete and promises enjoyment for fans from children to enthusiasts. The article provides a glimpse into the game's story, detailing how the protagonist, Masao Katsura, awakens after being modified by Professor Mochizuki. He is urged by a mysterious voice to protect Hiroshi Mochizuki, the professor's son. The narrative delves into the mystery of the Neo lifeform and Masao's transformation into the Green Warrior Kamen Rider Zo, hinting at the numerous secrets he carries. Character profiles introduce Masao, the main character and writer, Professor Mochizuki, who performed the modifications but is now missing, and Hiroshi Mochizuki, the boy the writer is tasked with protecting. The page features dynamic images of Kamen Rider Zo and his motorcycle, alongside photos of the actors portraying the key characters, emphasizing the game's likely reliance on visual sequences derived from the movie. This page delves deeper into the Mega CD game Kamen Rider Zo, showcasing the intense action powered by its photorealistic visuals. The developers promise thrilling gameplay where the rider's movements are so powerful they might even make you move. Gameplay is straightforward, primarily involving pressing buttons according to instructions displayed on screen, making it feel like an interactive movie that tests your reflexes. The game features a rogues gallery of cool and sometimes creepy monsters. The Kaijin, like the menacing Druss, the rider's destined foe, who is stated to be incredibly strong. Don't underestimate him. As you progress, the story unfolds with numerous mysteries, promising a heart-pounding experience from beginning to end. The screenshots highlight the dynamic action sequences, the grotesque enemy designs, and the live-action cutscenes that drive the narrative forward. This page dives into the world of Formula One World Championship 1993, Heavenly Symphony on the Mega CD. The game is praised for its deep simulation, offering 3 different modes and requiring players to adapt their strategy based on the car and setup. The magazine recommends a unique 4-year plan approach to mastering the game, starting with lower teams to gain experience, moving to middle teams for tougher races, and finally aiming for the championship with top-tier teams like Williams and McLaren, and even attempting it again with lower teams for a true challenge. It emphasizes the game's realistic recreation of F1, encouraging players to fully immerse themselves in the role of a driver. The visuals include gameplay screenshots showing the dashboard view and track, pit lane scenes, and even incorporates real photos of drivers, adding to the authentic feel. The page also includes a breakdown of teams by performance tier and a table showing fastest lap times on various tracks. There's also a small article discussing the start of the 1994 F1 season, touching on the early performance of teams like Williams, Benetton, McLaren, and Ferrari, adding relevant context for F1 fans. This page from the BeepMD Urawaza League, Volume 50, delivers a collection of valuable secrets for Mega Drive players. It kicks off with V5, detailing how to unlock a free play mode by rapidly pressing the reset button multiple times or using a specific button combination, granting unlimited credits. Next up is Dragon Ball Z, Bayou Retsuden, where you can access a turbo mode by holding down buttons on power-up and even select a random character on the select screen. An intriguing secret in this game allows the character bubbles to appear after pausing in calm spectator mode for 5 minutes. The page also reveals a hidden bike password for Road Rash 2, 001 von, granting access to the high-performance Wild Thing bike, an advantage not found in the standard shop. Finally, for Monster World IV, a trick is revealed where collecting money to make your total gold exactly 777 results in a massive gold increase, offering a substantial boost, especially early on. These are fantastic finds for players looking to gain an edge or discover hidden content in these titles. This page features more secrets from the BeepMD Urawaza League. Kicking off with Streets of Rage 3, you can access a round select feature by holding up +B on controller 1 on the menu screen and then entering the options. There's also a trick to allow both players to use the same character by holding down +C on controller 2 on the menu and selecting 2-player mode. Next, for Flicky, a round select is possible. Start the game, go to the title screen and press Start to reach the game explanation. Then, holding up +A+C on controller 1, press Start again. This lets you select any round up to the final 48. The Third World War has hidden graphics accessible from the password screen. By inputting specific button combinations, up, down, left, right, start, you can reveal test screens labeled TV1, TV2, and TV3, potentially for monitor adjustment or testing. For Aladdin on Game Gear, entering the password AIQY grants invincibility. While you'll be semi-transparent and immune to hits, be careful of instant death pitfalls. Finally, Sonic and Tails, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, on Game Gear has a sound test. From the title screen, enter a command sequence, down, down, left, right, 1, 2, to access it. These are some neat finds for these classic titles. This page features more tips and tricks from the BeepMD Urawaza League. Kicking off with Eternal Champions, the focus is on the brutal finishing moves known as overkills. It explains that by defeating your opponent at a specific position on the stage with a strong punch or kick, you can trigger these unique graphical finales. Screenshots are shown for stages like the Shadow Stage, Rack Stage, Blade Stage, and Juggernaut Stage on the left, and the Slash Stage, Trident Stage, Xavier Stage, Midnight Stage, Jetta Stage, and Rarson Stage on the right, each demonstrating the gruesome outcome. Getting the positioning just right is key to seeing these hidden graphics. Next up, for Castlevania Bloodlines, known as Vampire Killer in Japan, a secret code is revealed to unlock Expert Mode on the title screen. On the title screen, inputting the sequence up, down, left, right, B, A, and hearing a sound confirms success, allowing selection of Expert Mode in the options. There's also a peculiar tip about setting the BGM to 05 and C to 073 in the options before starting the game, which apparently changes the music, possibly to tracks from other Castlevania titles, according to the contributor. The bottom section briefly outlines the Urawaza League itself, explaining how reader submissions are judged and prizes awarded. This page focuses on upcoming titles for the Sega Game Gear, highlighting 2 games for summer release that the magazine strongly recommends: Gunstar Heroes and Coca-Cola Kid. Dated June 8, 1994, the feature announces a major promotional partnership between Sega and Coca-Cola. The page reveals that the acclaimed Mega Drive action game, Gunstar Heroes, is being ported to the Game Gear. Screenshots illustrate the game's pixel art, and the text emphasizes that Treasure is developing the port, aiming to faithfully recreate the original's intense action, diverse characters, and boss battles. Coca-Cola Kid is introduced as a side-scrolling action game starring the character from Coca-Cola commercials. The game's story involves rescuing a teacher from a villainous group, with screenshots showing the protagonist skateboarding through stages. The magazine expresses excitement for the high speed and dynamic gameplay expected from both titles. This page highlights 3 more upcoming Game Gear titles. First up is Madu Monogatari 2, RL16, the sequel to the popular RPG. The big change here is the protagonist, Arle, who has grown from a kindergartner to a 16-year-old. While the core RPG system remains similar, the setting is different. The story involves the magician Shizo targeting Arle, with exploration taking place in dungeons. The game retains the sampling voices and adds auto-mapping. It also introduces a host of new characters alongside Arle and Shizo, emphasizing the charm of the characters. Next is Torarete Tamaruka Mote, a game based on a Japanese movie. It's described as a unique blend of simulation and trap-setting gameplay. Players take on the role of a security expert using surveillance monitors and setting traps throughout a house to repel burglars. The goal is tactical defense against intruders. Finally, there's Alien 3, the Game Gear adaptation of the movie. This is an action game where you must rescue humans within a time limit and destroy the alien hive. The game aims to recreate the movie's tension, featuring gameplay that relies on the motion detector, radar, and action sequences, including navigating air vents. Players have access to 4 different weapon types, each with varying power and range. This page dives into the world of horse racing simulation on the Game Gear with World Derby. Released on May 27th for 4,980 yen, it even boasts 8-player link cable support, which is pretty wild for the time. The game puts you in the role of a horse owner, focusing on raising and training your horses, registering them for races, and ultimately, competing. The flowchart outlines the key actions: acquiring horses, training them, entering races, running the race, and then either retiring them or sending them to stud or broodmare production for breeding. Despite being on the Game Gear, it appears to be a surprisingly deep simulation. The screenshots show the race from a top-down perspective, alongside visuals for training and winning trophies like the Tenno-shu. There are also portraits of key figures, likely trainers or jockeys, who play a role in your horse's development and success. Commentary on the page highlights the game's simulation aspects, emphasizing the need to understand your horse's condition, choose the right trainers and jockeys, and plan your race strategy. It suggests that while simple on the surface, mastering the game requires attention to detail in training and race planning, making it appealing even to those new to horse racing simulations. The depth comes from managing various factors influencing your horse's performance and strategic decisions in each race. This Game Gear World Derby guide follows Beep Saturn's career, from a 3-year-old debut to seasoned older horse, highlighting key races and rivalries like Biwa Hyahide and Teleo. It offers gameplay advice, focusing on training, trainer selection, tailored routines, buying, selling, starting with local horses, and breeding, retiring champions. The guide emphasizes the interconnected nature of these systems for success. The GG Hotline section previews other Game Gear titles, including J-League Pro Striker, 94, Authentic Soccer, and Zool, item collection game, also for Mega Drive. This page delves into the world of Slank's Neo Geo system, featuring the action fighting game Top Hunter. It's highlighted as a horizontal scrolling action title that uniquely uses a two-line system for movement between the foreground and background, similar to Fatal Fury. The protagonist utilizes a retractable arm for attacks and grabbing, and mastering the game's special moves, such as the Plasma Buster and Flash Kick, is key to success. The game features 5 stages in total, with 4 initially selectable, and areas varying between arcade and home versions. It also includes bonus stages. Another section focuses on fighters' history, revealing hidden special moves for its characters that aren't listed on the instruction card. While some moves might not be incredibly powerful, the page details the commands for characters like Rei, Phylin, Ryoko, and others, noting 3 characters are not included in this specific list. Finally, the page briefly showcases Crossed Swords, an early Neo Geo action RPG. It's described as a difficult but rewarding game where players fight monsters with sword and magic, gaining experience to improve health. The strategy involves using a shield to block attacks before retaliating. The technical specifications of the Neo Geo system are also presented. This page features the Beep Mega Drive Reader Present campaign for the June 1994 issue, giving fans a chance to win various prizes. Up for grabs are their favorite Sega Genesis or Game Gear software, a Sega CD Model 2 attachment, and original merchandise like a Dungeon Master 2 cap and a Super Bomberman 2 decorative tape. There's also a book about horse racing and a signboard signed by staff from the Urusei Yatsura game, provided by Game Arts. The page also includes an information section highlighting the upcoming Tokyo Toy Show in June, where the Sega Saturn will be publicly shown, alongside other next-gen consoles like 3DO, PlayStation, and PCFX. It mentions that while Genesis and Sega CD are seeing fewer new titles, major releases like Super Street Fighter II and Shining Force 2 are still exciting, and the summer looks promising with titles like Lunar 2. The next issue is scheduled for release on June 8th. A question telephone line is provided for magazine-related inquiries, but don't call asking for game cheats. There is also a staff list and a section about recruiting contributors. This page covers 2 upcoming Sega CD titles. First up is Star Wars: Rebel Assault, a 3D shooting adventure that draws from the first 2 Star Wars films. Screenshots highlight iconic scenes like X-Wing dogfights and battling at Tats, showcasing the game's visual style and cockpit view. This title is expected to launch in late July. The page also previews Shadow of the Beast 2, the critically acclaimed sequel. It features the game's distinctive logo and text, describing its dark, magical world and the protagonist's mission to rescue his kidnapped sister, emphasizing its impressive graphics and animation quality developed by Psygnosis. This page delves deeper into 2 exciting Sega CD titles introduced on the previous page. First up is Star Wars: Rebel Assault, placing you in the boots of a Rebel Alliance member tasked with destroying the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star. The game boasts 15 stages and leverages the CRIDROM format to integrate numerous real-life film cutscenes, creating a truly immersive visual experience complemented by powerful voice acting. Beginners can even jump in with a practice mode. The page features screenshots showcasing iconic moments like X-Wing dogfights, battling stormtroopers and AT-ATs, and the critical Death Star trench run. This highly anticipated title is scheduled for a July release at 8,800 yen. The page also previews Shadow of the Beast 2, highlighting its dark fantasy setting and challenging action gameplay, with several vibrant screenshots depicting platforming and combat against strange creatures. This sequel is also slated for a July release, priced at 8,800 yen, and published by Victor Entertainment. This page is dedicated to the highly anticipated Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the Sega Mega Drive. The striking artwork features Sonic alongside his powerful new rival, Knuckles the Echidna, highlighting their contrasting designs and personalities. The text confirms Sonic's signature high-speed action is back, enhanced with new actions like snowboarding and rope climbing, plus unique bonus stages. It specifically calls out Knuckles' appearance as a source of thrilling continuation for the series. Several screenshots showcase diverse levels, including icy mountains, lush greenery, and vibrant special stages. The page also mentions the release date of May 27th, and the price of 5,800 yen. There's a promotional section mentioning a video gift for pre-ordering at stores with a poster and a campaign giving away a Mega Drive 2 console to commemorate the release. This looks like a massive evolution for the series.